Welcome to ESPN College Football Prime Time from the campus of North Carolina Central University in Durham. The defending MEAC champion South Carolina State Bulldogs in the house, trying to remain perfect in conference play as they go against the Eagles here from O'Kelly Riddick Stadium in this huge MEAC showdown. Well, let's take you back to the past few Celebration Bowl champions. You go back to 2021, South Carolina State was able to win it, downing Jackson State. The following year, the MEAC continued to reign as North Carolina Central pushed it to overtime, and the Eagles walked out of Atlanta with a dub. And finally, last year, Jackson State able to overcome that hurdle and take down South Carolina State. But when you think about just how important this game is, folks, we're taking a look at the MEAC standings. South Carolina State, Delaware State tied for first. North Carolina Central still remains in the hunt. They're sitting at 2-1, hoping to trip up South Carolina State, but obviously so much can happen between this weekend and next as we say hello and welcome you in with the Black College Football Hall of Famer and MEAC Hall of Famer, Jay Walker. I'm Tiffany Green, and yes, this is the game that we had scheduled going into the season. These two powerhouses, perennial powers, going head-to-head. How important is it, Jay?
I mean, this is the biggest game of the season for both these institutions, and for different reasons why. In the MEAC conference race, there's no room for error. But North Carolina Central slipped up, beaten by Delaware State, but they still have an outside chance to make it to Atlanta. But if they don't win tonight, then their season is pretty much done. They'd have to hope for an invitation to the FCS playoffs. And if you're South Carolina State, what a better place to be in. You control your own destiny. You're one of the top teams in HBCU football, but they must come in here on the road and pull off a huge victory.
Well, we know that quarterback play is going to be at a premium. And when you think about Walker Harris for North Carolina Central, the lefty can spin it. He has been in this system, and he continues to elevate.
Yeah, you know, what you have to like about Walker Harris, he does so many things well, but I really like his ball placement where only his wide receiver has an opportunity to make a play. And then here, the recognition, knowing where the soft spot of the defense is quickly. Within half a second, he knows where he's going with the football. He seems like he's playing at a rhythm that's 2 steps ahead of the defense. He's going to need to be 3 steps ahead of the defense tonight against a talented Bulldog squad.
Top passer in the MEAC, 4th best in all of FCS in passing yards. And you think about those weapons on the perimeter, something that Trey Oliver said they needed to see step up, and Chauncey Spikes has certainly done that.
I would call him the ultimate weapon. What do I mean by that? Anytime as a quarterback, I know I've got one guy that you cannot guard one-on-one, then that's putting me at an advantage and the defense on their heels. Chauncey Spikes is that guy that can be a difference maker from the wide receiver position.
Okay, let's look on the other side at South Carolina State and their QB play in William Atkins IV. Billy Atkins, a mid-season or summer acquisition for the Bulldogs, and he has really given them another great chance to win this season.
You know, absolutely. He stepped in having to replace the reigning MEAC Player of the Year in Eric Phoenix, who was the quarterback the previous season. Well, Atkins came in and has given this team a spark they need. The ability to throw the deep ball accurately over the top of the defense. And then the little things, the misdirection and setting up the wide receiver bubble screen, it's the timing of it. The coaches say he has come in, embraced this offensive system, and we are playing our best offensive football right now.
The James Madison transfer has certainly fit in well in a team that is very new to the Bulldogs, and Chinnis Berry, who had a lot of turnover from last year's championship team. On the other side, defense, you know about it, and Gerard Washington anchors it.
South Carolina State's always going to have a defense, and they're always going to have a great defensive player, and this version is Gerard Washington, the cornerback who can hurt you in so many ways. You saw the pick 6 from a week ago. Special teams, he gets in the act. He's the next Bulldog that will be playing in the National Football League. The transfer from Benedict has had an immediate impact. NFL scouts are drooling about him. He's going to need to show up all over the field today for the Bulldogs to pull the upset.
Well, you're talking about protecting the nest. The Eagles certainly look to do so against South Carolina State. Kickoff coming up next. Back here in the Bull City, it's about to be a battle in the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference between South Carolina State and North Carolina Central. And these two coaches very familiar with one another. You think about last year's MEAC Coach of the Year in his first season at South Carolina State after great success down the road at Benedict College. And now he's looking to add to that resume. These two teams, or rather coaches, were together at Southern University for a few seasons, and Trey Oliver at his alma mater, 6th season. He is the Dean of Coaches in the conference, won a couple of MEAC titles and a 2-time Conference Coach of the Year as well. And culture over scheme, you hear it talked about all the time, and he has been able to build this program in always being in the hunt for a MEAC championship.
I tell you, two of the hottest coaches in all of FCS football, guys that are proven winners, no matter where they've been, proven track records, in high demand. But right now, we're going to see who wins this game of chess between these two outstanding coaches and programs.
Well, South Carolina State has the opportunity to get the ball first after receiving, and the touchback. And we talked about Billy Atkins already with his degree in economics from James Madison, and he comes into this program already a leader, a great IQ kind of guy that Chinnis Berry just beamed about coming into the season.
And this is an up-tempo system, so they're going to run a number of plays, and the key is how quickly he can get the offense settled and attack this opposing defense.
Well, South Carolina State averaging about 32 points per game, and they started off from the pocket. Atkins delivers the pass complete to DeAndre Ruffin. Ruffin with the catch and a pickup of 5 yards.
And look how quickly they line up at the line of scrimmage. Until North Carolina Central shows them something to slow them down, they're going to continue to try and operate in high frequency.
From the 30. And Atkins, who was brought down as a penalty marker, came out in the process, going down for the sack. That was Donquarius Parker.
Credit to Donquarius Parker. He's the one that jumped off sides. So if you get a head start.
Defense, number 15. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
If you get a head start to the quarterback, then you might as well get there so he does not have a chance at a free play. You'll see him jump. They snap the ball because he's in the neutral zone, but continues to drive, gets to the quarterback to negate any type of huge play downfield.
And this Eagles defense is going to be tested because South Carolina State likes to run an up-tempo type of offense, spread RPO under OC Jonathan Williams. KZ Adams with the carry and not much room to run. Christian Smith was there immediately, a loss of 1. And Smith, the 5th-year senior out of Jacksonville, North Carolina, a 3-year starter in this program, now brings up 2nd and 11 from the 34 of South Carolina State. Atkins with time, looks to the outside, and Ruffin was the intended target closest to it, but it was thrown out of bounds. It's going to bring up 3rd and 11.
So that's a connection they need to get to. One thing about Ruffin, he has home run hitting ability, huge target on the outside. 6'3", 205, one of the fastest Bulldogs. If they continue to play one-on-one against him, then you're playing with fire.
Well, Trey Oliver said of this wide receiver core for South Carolina State, the best unit that we have seen all season long. And here, Atkins gets it in there to Jalen Johnson, and it is complete. That is one of his favorite targets on the season. He's got the most catches with now 46.
They need to snap it. I'm not sure if he caught this ball. The ball thrown very low. Did it get through? Got the hands underneath. I told you that ball, the bottom of that, hit the turf.
Rolling on the field was a completed catch. That play is under further review.
Jason Soisman, our referee for tonight, is going to take a look at it with the replay official up in the booth, Jesse Garcia III. And just like you said, Jay, it was something that they probably needed to snap quickly, so they didn't review it. Instead, looking at it again, pass ruled complete on the field, but it's likely to be overturned because of right there.
Yeah, I mean, right there, when the ball left the right arm of Atkins, you could tell he misfired. It was low. Great job by Johnson trying to get underneath it. But we're in the Eagles' nest, and I believe my eagle eyes saw that ball hit the turf in live time, and I'm sure Trey Oliver did too. Fairly confident this ball will be ruled incomplete, overruled, and it'll force a punting situation.
When talking with both of the coaches this week, obviously they know a lot is at stake, but what has been a part of the recipe for success for Chinnis Berry is the fact that the mission doesn't change from week to week. It's to go 1-0 each week, and there are a lot of Berryisms that you will be introduced to throughout the broadcast, but going 1-0 is the mission.
Every week he'll call that. No game is bigger than that. Like the jacket, by the way. That's a clean South Carolina State jacket there. But this week I'm going off of the separation is in the preparation. He said when you prepare, you separate by
After further review, the ruling on the field is an incomplete catch. It will be 4th down.
So the call is overturned, and that's going to bring up 4th down. And the punter comes on as Elliot Janish is on to attempt it. Started his career at Langston, then over to Troy, Utah, and now in his 4th school at South Carolina State in his graduate year. From his own 20, back to receive it, Makai Wall, and lets it bounce at the 20. And this one is going to be a good one as Janish does his job, flips the field inside the 15, a 54-yard punt. And that's where we will see the offense for North Carolina Central start. The senior out of Wake Forest right here in the Tar Heel State, Walker Harris. We told you about him in the open. Passed Davius Richard for most passing yards in a single season. The great player at quarterback a couple of years ago. And Harris, better than 2,700 yards through the air. And there was a question mark coming into tonight's game whether Chris Mosley was going to be available, as he was injured in that Howard game a couple of weeks ago. And Mosley was right there, but so was Josh Barker. Agent Zero in white, a loss of 3.
Barker can be disruptive. Chris Mosley, one of the most dynamic backs you'll see on the FCS level. When healthy, we'll see how long he can go. But Josh Barker is a one-man wrecking crew at nose tackle.
And the pass complete to Naseem Cosby. Naseem Cosby on the reception. Pick up a 5, Washington there on the stop. And now on 3rd down and quickly moving here. Got to pick up 8.
You need to identify where Josh Barker's lining up on the defensive line. Number 0, he can line up over center. He can line up at defensive end. He likes to attack weaknesses. They feel he cannot be blocked one-on-one.
Harris with some pressure, and he goes down as Walker Harris is brought down by Shamari Reed. Loss of 1 on the play, and right there you see the Bulldogs defense come to play on the road.
And Shamari Reed, who plays that spur linebacker for South Carolina State, coming on an outside linebacker blitz. Great pursuit to get to the quarterback, and they're going to try and disrupt Walker Harris all day. Get him off of his spot. They feel that he's a rhythm passer. And how do you disrupt rhythm passers? You scratch the record. You get off beat.
Bowman from his own end zone comes out a little bit. Jalen Johnson trotting back, and he gets going. Little stutter step there along the left side, across the 40-yard line, and steps out near the 41-yard line. So quick 3 and outs on both sides as South Carolina State couldn't get anything going. Can they get it moving on offense? Well, you go back to October 31st of last year on Halloween night in Columbia. Eric Phoenix and the Bulldogs jumped out to a quick lead, 17-0 in the first half. They were rolling. However, it was the Eagles who nearly came back in that one. It was a riveting ball game, folks. Walker Harris, you see going down, and that would end up sealing the game as Berry and company remained perfect throughout that MEAC season to go on to win not only against North Carolina Central, but also a MEAC championship. And you look how close these games have been over 3 of the last 4 meetings, decided by 3 points or less. So we could be in for yet another treat as Billy Atkins has a man who ball deflected. Great ball skills there by Jazeer Dukes. And Dukes, who has been a bright spot in that secondary that's been banged up, with a nice pass deflection.
You know, the ball is there. He gets behind the defensive back, possibly could have led the wide receiver a little bit more, but that lets you know how explosive this South Carolina State offense is. They think, take what the defense gives us. If the defense gives us the deep shot, regardless of down and distance, Billy Atkins has the green light to pull the trigger.
And you think about just one returning starter on this offense for South Carolina State, and that's up front with Roger Smith. Billy Atkins quickly out to Jordan Smith, and Jordan Smith, who is a MEAC leader in yards for this season, picks up the first down.
Yeah, really good sight read adjustment by George Smith. If the slot linebacker that's guarding you blitzes for the quarterback, turn around, get out to the flat, easy hot read, nice recognition, being on the same page with the quarterback and wide receiver. Now, I'd like to see them establish more consistency on first down. You know, they were able to overcome it, but they need to establish they can run the football on first down for positive yards. Unfortunately, they're not, or else it'll be a long night because North Carolina Central wants to make you one-dimensional.
Well, they attempted to do so there. Max Urin, one of those leaders on defense who has been the glue and brains of the Eagles unit for all 4 years that he's been here, with the stop. So 2nd and 10, no gain on that carry from the Bulldogs.
2nd and 10, South Carolina State.
From Central's 52-yard line, Ruffin, who was in motion, rolling to his left. Atkins overthrows and out of bounds and practically into the stands. Very close and cozy quarters on the sideline.
You know, that's the challenge they're going to have, because North Carolina Central likes to control the line of scrimmage. And offensive coordinator Jonathan Williams from South Carolina State tried to get creative and move the pocket a little bit. And I think that's because he knows he cannot afford to allow number 10, Thomas Johnson, the defensive end that's right here on the bottom line of scrimmage, to roam free and attack his quarterback.
Johnson, who has been a nuisance all season long, here on 3rd and 10. 3 receivers to the bottom of your screen. And Atkins with plenty of time, standing tall in the pocket. Jordan Smith, the reception. And then swung down by Jakari Martin. So 6 yards on the pickup. That's going to bring up 4th and 4. And the Bulldogs offense remaining on the field.
They cross midfield and possibly come out, try and get them to jump off sides. We don't see South Carolina State huddle, so they're probably, I'm guessing they're going to go there and say, try and get a hard count, fake something, see if you can get some movement. But it would be a very aggressive play call to go for it in this situation with a 0-0 ball game.
Empty backfield for South Carolina State. They do go for it, 5 of 13 on 4th downs, and make it 6 of 14. The completion to Jalen Johnson moves the chains.
Yeah, this is just too easy right here. This is a 2nd level throw. I don't know if they were on the same page. It looked like inside linebacker Isaiah Lawson was playing zone coverage, and the rest of the defense was playing man-to-man. He just gave a free release to the slot receiver. That's a mental error.
Well, after that 15-yard pickup from Jalen Johnson from the hands of Billy Atkins, an official's timeout taken on the field. But Atkins, you see just how he can diagnose the defense, how they really like his passing ability, and processing ability from that quarterback position. A 6'1" graduate out of the Maryland area. And now with the chains officially moved and set. The jet sweep there, the Jalen Johnson, and Johnson trying to find some running room and a number of black jerseys around. And the tackle is made by Eric Adams. No gain on the play after a lot of running around.
And that was a spectacular job by Jalen Johnson just to get to the line of scrimmage. Once again, we're seeing South Carolina State struggle on first down running plays. North Carolina Central controlling the line of scrimmage, making the Bulldogs fight for any type of positive yardage running the ball on first down.
And you hear coaches often talk about winning on first down and how they've got to get ahead of the chains. Thus far, to your point, Jay, South Carolina State still working in that category. 2-by-2 formation. The Adams in the backfield. He leaks out. Coming across and a big hit to Jordan Smith, leveled there by DJ Estes.
Instincts. When you talk to the defensive staff for North Carolina Central, they say DJ Estes has instincts. Quarterback setting up for a short crossing route, puts a thump on Jordan Smith. Big hit, protecting the nest in the secondary for North Carolina Central.
Big 3rd and 9 coming up here from the Eagles' 27-yard line. Atkins surveys and is brought down again. Zarian Walters, the bright future defensive tackle out of Richlands, North Carolina.
The replay system is now functional.
Loss of 6.
The replay system is functional.
You know, that's what they wanted to avoid, was having their pass rushers on the end be disruptors in obvious passes situations. Great job by the secondary defensive line for North Carolina Central to collapse the pocket and get the sack.
Well, a 50-yard attempt, and the senior out of Spain, Madrid, Spain, and Nico Campanillas Alti on to try to attempt the field goal. It's got enough leg, and did you like that little hook and curve there at the last minute? And it goes through. His season long, for a second time this season, did it against Charleston Southern earlier in the year, and another 50-yarder as it goes through. Very confident in his kicking team. He said, line it up, and Alti can knock it in from anywhere. Well, Chennis Berry, who was named head coach of South Carolina State back on December 16, 2023, after 3 very successful seasons at Benedict College, he compiled a 27-7 record, undefeated in the SIAC, 2 conference championships, along with 2 Division II playoff appearances, and then he rode on over to Orangeburg, South Carolina, and he has talked about this team buying in. That's the theme for the season. Jay, I want you to say it in Coach Berry terms, or in his voice.
Do you believe?
That's right.
Can you unite? Are you willing to yield what it takes outside?
Invest now.
And the now is for
no opportunity wasted, but
That's
he also
another
added
acronym.
to it.
Yes.
No other way.
No other way, no opportunity wasted. One of the, I will tell you, probably the best motivator out there in the college football circuit. Old school motivation, believes in his kids, trusts the process, and the job that South Carolina State did in getting him to come over from Benedict. Give hats off to them as well.
Walker Harris back on the field, and a loud and proud NCCU sound machine is ready to amp and ramp up here. NC South, or rather North Carolina Central, try to answer. They start from their own 25-yard line. Here Mosley, nice cut. And Chris Mosley, boy, the difference maker that he's been. You know, he took over for the departed Jamari Taylor, who's now at Virginia. He changed his jersey number and really came into this season with a different type of swagger for his 5th and final year. Harris with the man open. That's Chance Peterson. Peterson, who's still on his feet, swinging out, and finally brought down by Brendan Scott. But Chance Peterson, the preseason second-team All-MEAC selection, this is his playmaking ability.
And Walker Harris knows where the soft spot of the defense is, so he had to almost pump fake a second longer so Peterson could clear behind the safety. That's how you attack the defense, knowing where you're going with the football and throw into an area rather than a person.
44-yard pickup puts the Eagles in Bulldogs territory. They hand it off on 1st down to Chris Mosley, and Reed is there for a quick tackle.
If they can get Chris Mosley going with the running game, that's when Central's playing their best. You know Walker Harris can hurt you with his left arm, but if he has a running back, he's always been able to have one of the best running backs in the conference behind him. Chris Mosley's that special guy. Give credit to running back coach Charles Bankins, because they've run off running back after running back after running back, even going back to Mookie Collier.
Absolutely, Jay. And here on 2nd and 9, Harris elects to try to put it in the air, avoids Kayvon Chisholm, still on his feet and just too tall for the receiver. Chauncey Spikes was the intended target, and Washington was on the coverage.
That's the recipe for South Carolina State. You have to get Walker Harris off of his spot. So they just get to the spot and then force him to move, and then you take your chances that he can beat you from outside of the pocket. Walker Harris thought he had a big play there, but just ball sailed on him a little bit high.
Spikes is going to be a player he's going to target all night long. Is 3rd and 10 in this MEAC showdown. Walker Harris had a man, led him just a little too much. Makai Wall couldn't catch up to it, and it's 4th down.
Consecutive plays, the Bulldogs get Walker Harris off of his comfort spot in the pocket, forcing him to make a throw on the run or outside the pocket. 2 consecutive plays, he misfires, forcing a field goal attempt.
Well, I'll tell you this, a part of the championship recipe and what's made these 2 teams so good, Caleb Robinson is on to attempt a 41-yard field goal attempt. We saw a 50-yarder from South Carolina State. And Robinson tries to answer back the other way and is successful in doing so, and it's tied at 3 apiece. And the former special teams guru and Trey Oliver loves it, knows that he can rely on the leg whenever needed, and Robinson, the sophomore, comes through to even up this game at 3 apiece. the Saturday college football triple header loaded with playoff implication. 9th ranked Notre Dame takes on number 22 Penn at noon Eastern. Then the College Game Day crew will be there to start the day. Then 4th ranked Alabama host OU in the SEC. And we cap off the day with Arch Manning and number 10 Texas squaring off against Gunnar Stockton between the hedges.
I got something to say.
Okay.
Got something to say.
Let's hear it.
Everybody talks about how the change out in the world out there, the college football landscape's changing. The more things change, the more things stay the same. Still gonna come down to Bama in Georgia. Always gonna be in the mix. Oh, fire him, get rid of him. We need Saban back. Still gonna come back to Bama and Georgia. And Ohio State University.
So you're just saying the same contenders, Jay, no matter what it all goes down to. When you talk about the HBCU contenders, let's take a look at your power rankings.
I'll say this, talk about things staying the same. First time in a long time that North Carolina Central's not been in my top 5. They win this game, they move into the top 5 at a high clip. South Carolina State playing their best football. The point of contingency I had here with this, Jackson State beat Alabama State. Beat them, but Alabama State's playing the best football. After that game, Alabama State's been on a tear. Jackson State lost the game. So in the power rankings, I'm going Alabama State right now, I feel, is the premier team in HBCU football, playing the best.
The question is, what 2 teams will represent each conference in the Cricket Celebration Bowl? I'll tell you this, KZ Adams wants to take South Carolina State back to the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, a pickup of 13 on that run.
Great job with the vision where he set up the safety and made him miss. Adams is a high school legend here in the state of down in the state of South Carolina.
Jordan Smith on the reception. Jay, when we talked with Chinnisberry this week about that Celebration Bowl appearance, right? They had a terrific season overall, go undefeated in the MEAC, 9-3 overall. But he said while the event was first class, it was the worst game of our season. He said that wasn't us.
I absolutely said it wasn't South Carolina State. The moment got too big for them. Some of the distractions, which they tried everything to keep, but has a desire to go back and play South Carolina State football in Atlanta. And his team still controls their own destiny. Went out, and we'll see in the Cricket Celebration Bowl.
And there's KZ Adams once again. You talked about his prowess in the state of South Carolina as he's brought down by Jelani Vassell.
And just the offensive line just getting after it. Chevy Trask, the right tackle pulling. James Reddick, the coach on the offensive line at center, getting up to the second level. Adams has brought the spark in where they're having successful running plays on first down.
They try to go again, and this time no room or place to run as the tackle made by Wynn.
And that's just great pursuit right there. Enough is enough. They realize Adams is in there to run the football. The defensive line for Central accepts the challenge. Now it becomes a passing situation for South Carolina State. Watch the double move if you're North Carolina Central. They like to bait you and think they're taking a short route, and will go over the top if that's what you give them.
Well, they bring a number of black jerseys. The blitz was on, but Nick Brown, the tight end with it, loses the football as he goes down, and it goes out of bounds.
Rolling on the field is a forward fumble out of bounds. It will be returned to the spot of the fumble where it will be 3rd down.
You see Max Urin punched it loose, but it fumbles out of bounds. An 8-yard pickup for Brown. And now here on 3rd down.
And this is when you're Trey Oliver, I think you tell your defensive coordinator, as he's acting as a defensive coordinator this week, so he's got to talk to himself. We'll explain that a little later. Be aggressive. Go for it, because South Carolina State's established. They're in 2-down territory. Unless you get a negative plate right now, they're going to probably go for it on 4th and less than 5.
Their average down and distance tonight for South Carolina State is 10 yards. They're 0 for 3 so far. Got to pick up 5. Has a man open. That's Jordan Smith again, and Smith able to pick up the 1st down. That's the first conversion we've seen tonight.
I love that football. Jonathan Williams, offensive coordinator for South Carolina State, knew the situation. He knew they were coming. Dialed up something where all he's done versus pressure is just taking those routes out in the flat. 4 or 5 yard throws, picked up 10 yards. Nice execution versus the blitz.
Well, KZ Adams, who was stuffed up there in the hole, a number of black jerseys, including Christian Smith, there to stop him. And you talked about Trey Oliver acting as the defensive coordinator tonight because Jesse Thompson unavailable right now, but you'd like the pursuit of Wisdom Sims coming up to plug the hole. But Coach Jesse Thompson, who was involved in a car accident the week of that Howard game, and so he is recovering at home right now, and Trey Oliver having to put his D coordinator hat on like he did at Southern prior to coming to North Carolina Central.
Big tackle made, number 41,
Isaiah Lawson on the tackle, no gain on the play. And third down coming up here. In this situation, what do? You talked about things that have worked underneath. What do you say?
You don't blitz if you're North Carolina Central, because they've shown they've got a hot spot read for you right away. Count on your defensive line to get there. Knowing that's the case, and you've softened them up, you see the two high safeties for North Carolina Central. Go through your progressions, attack the seams when you get this zone coverage.
Snap here on third down. Atkins poised in the pocket, delivers DeAndre Ruffin into the end zone and a touchdown on 3rd and 11. The 28-yard pass catch and run after into the end zone.
Play cover 2 man, and I will tell you, as a quarterback, no better feeling in the pocket, realizing they're not blitzing you. You have more than enough protection. You can sit comfortable and take the one-on-one matchup that they were able to find.
So Ruffin's second touchdown of the season. Alty want to attempt the extra point. And South Carolina State leads by a score after that touchdown from Atkins to Ruffin.
Yeah, just a really good job of getting the time and realizing, hey, once I've got the clear out route, there's going to be a soft spot in the middle of the field versus the 2-man safety look. That's great recognition, but the offensive line provided the time. You know, if it weren't shotgun in the old days, that would be considered a 7-step drop, which you don't see oftentimes in today's college football world, but he had the time because they won the chess match. They knew the blitz wasn't coming, so you could say, I can get guys out into the route, find the one-on-one matchup, and make an accurate throw and catch for the touchdown for the Bulldogs.
Here's the marching one-on-one who made the trip here to Durham to try to back up their team. South Carolina State, located in Orangeburg, South Carolina, founded in 1872. And obviously they've got 4 Pro Football Hall of Famers, legendary coaches like Willie Jeffries, Buddy Pugh, fantastic in STEM majors.
They've got a former Miss America that was there. You've got Representative Jim Clyburn who went there. You've got 4 Pro Football Hall of Famers that went there. So that little tiny school in Orangeburg making an impact on the world.
And the little onside kick here, trying to catch North Carolina Central off guard. And are they able to do so? They've got to sort this out to try to get to the bottom of the pile based on the reactions from the Bulldogs. They say they have it, and yes, indeed, they do. So nobody saw that coming at the end of the first quarter. Just a little onside, catching them off guard, and Bulldogs fans loving it.
Coach Berry, he set the attitude early. Aggressive, coming in on the road. Squib kick, does it get the distance? That's close. You have to give them up to 10 yards.
Yes.
They made contact right at 10. He was, if they take a look at that, we need to see on what yard line did they initiate the contact.
So Nico Campanillas Alty, he's getting congratulations on the field. Let's see, or on the sideline rather. But we'll see if that holds or stands, to your point, as they're going to take a look at it, Jay. For now, Alty's got the chain. He's got the big Bulldog chain on the sideline. That looked tough to see because it looked like
we've got to see
The
where.
Eagles got a piece of it, so here we go.
See, 5 yards. It's the hit right now coming. He's coming up to, he might have been behind the line. He was a little bit late. And this is the look we need to see right here. You know, it's that 45-yard line. He's coming up. He's behind it. That play's going to stand. They give you 10 yards to do it. He was probably about 11 yards too deep, so that's going to be a successful onside kick by a yard, and I feel that South Carolina State will be rewarded once again for the aggressive play calling by head coach Chennis Berry.
Well, if you're just tuning in, there were a couple of field goals traded on back-to-back offensive drives for each team, and then
After
South
further
Carolina
review,
State
the
with
ruling
the
on the field is upheld. South Carolina State football, first down.
And after their 9 plays, 75-yard touchdown drive, the onside kick successful. Not sure if they had a good enough look to try to overturn that to begin with, Jay. And so the play stands as is, and Chennis Berry's aggressiveness playing off. His team perfect in MEAC play, trying to remain that way and run down another MEAC championship. Atkins, who was 4 for 4 on that last drive for 54 yards and a touchdown, looks to run back some more. Atkins going deep, has a man down the sideline. Right there is Nigel Johnson, who walks in. 51 yards, one play, and then boom.
On an earlier drive, they set it up. I said you have to watch the double move for South Carolina State. They're so successful in running short routes, intermediate routes, that they want to set you up. And this is a great job on the double move. Top of your screen, go get them a little stutter go. Executed perfectly. The defensive back, that Jazir Dukes once again comes up out of position, trying to get a read on it. Huge play for South Carolina State.
Back-to-back drives for touchdowns for the Bulldogs here on the road. That was set up by the surprise onside kick. And how do you close out a quarter in a pivotal game like this? Well, you take care of business. 14 points in the last 10 seconds for the Bulldogs. They're up after 1. Can you hear us okay, Coach? final seconds of that half.
Well,
or quarter.
big thing for us, we got it on our mind. We feel like we got some explosive guys. We got an outstanding quarterback, and we want to be aggressive. Again, no stones unturned. We want to be aggressive, and I think we're doing a good job of executing.
Coach, you're up by 14. What concerns you about the rest of this football? A lot of football left to be played. What are some concerns or some things you've seen down there on the field?
Well, they got a good football team. And I told them, in the game of football, they're going to make a few plays. They on scholarship, too. Good things going to happen, keep playing. Bad things going to happen, keep playing. Just play the next play. So I like where we are right now, offensively, defensively, and special teams. And, again, we just got to win the moment, all right? First quarter's over. We're talking about playing a complete 60 minutes of football. We just played 15 so far, so good.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. That's Chinnisberry right there for you, Tiff. We told you. He's going to hype you up. Coach, go hype your team up.
Hey, we about to go get them turned up, baby. Second quarter, let's get it, baby. Go Dogs.
There's
Let's go, Tiff.
nothing quite like
Call your game, Tiff.
Chinnisberry and the energy that he brings. Now Walker Harris in this offense trot back onto the field for North Carolina Central. And what type of injection of enthusiasm can this offensive unit have for the Eagles to try to counter?
They've been here before. And last year, at this time in this football game, they were down 17-0, came back and made a three-point game. This year, it's only 17-3. So know that you're battle-tested. Now, as South Carolina State said, they've taken a blow. You know that North Carolina Central is going to fight back. Too talented a football team. Just pace yourself, stick to your game plan. And I think the key for Central, they have to get Walker Harris on rhythm. South Carolina State's been able to get him off his spot and off timing.
After the 2-yard pickup from Mosley here on 2nd and 8, they hand it off to one and black again. Mosley, he gets going, and Chris Mosley across the 50-yard line, brought down by Jabin Ford, a pickup of 16.
Great vision comes with running to color. Watch Mosley run the color. A good running back, he sees a black jersey. Okay, go inside that. White jersey's coming. Green field up ahead. Black jersey stay on the inside. Learn that, young running backs. They tell you run to daylight. No, you run to color. That's where your blockers are, and that's great vision on display by Chris Mosley.
One of the fastest on this team. Great vision, as you mentioned. And they go with Mosley once again, and Chris Mosley, explosive. And when you look back to the first half, North Carolina Central had the ball for just over 3.5 minutes. They've got 2 first downs. They only had 1 in that last quarter.
And look at the vision and the balance on display. I'm telling you, the running back coach, Charles Bankins, does a good job at North Carolina Central with the running back room. Well coached. They don't make mistakes, and he gets the best out of them.
And it's so interesting when you think about, again, you talked about Latrell Mookie Collier, Jamari Taylor, Chris Mosley, who we got to see sprinkled in the offense last year, but now that he's stepped into that QB, or rather running back 1 role, he has certainly shown all that he can do. Change of pace kind of guy. Here on 2nd and 7 from the Bulldogs' 30-yard line. Harris hit from behind, unloads as the pass incomplete. Shamari Reed was right there to hit him as he released it.
You know, and if you're Walker Harris, you have to know you're a left-handed quarterback, so they're going to try to bring the pressure to your blind side. Twice we've seen Shamari Reed get to Walker Harris. When he comes up on that line of scrimmage from his spur/outside linebacker position, when he makes a move, you have to know where he is.
Arthur Rogers Jr. in the backfield with Harris here on 3rd down, and into the hands of Mekhi Wall, and Wall inside the red zone after that completion. Catch
Rhythm.
and 16 yards.
Rhythm. Knew where the soft spot the defense was, waited for him to cross the face of Shamari Reed in that situation, delivered a strike. That's Walker Harris football. When he can anticipate where to go with the football on time, he can pick you apart.
A.J. Rogers quickly met in the backfield and nowhere to go. That's Roderick Kelly from his Mike linebacker position, the sophomore out of Lakeland, with that tackle for a loss of 3.
That'll be a loss of 3. It brings up 2nd and 13.
2nd and 13. And Trey Oliver electing to change things up a little bit. Josh Jones, the redshirt sophomore quarterback, now in.
Move the pocket a little bit more RPO. Run a quarterback sweep. With an extra blocker out there.
Off Noah McKinney, the center, pickup of 3 yards, and Jones will quickly trot to the sideline. So now 3rd and 10 here.
And mark that play. That was a set-you-up play. So that way, when Josh Jones comes in the game later on at some point, trying to set up something that they may try to do. But in this case here, what I'm doing now, I'm assuming that's what you're going to ask me.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, Matt Leone has the call here. What do you do?
I like it. 2 tight ends for extra protection, so they will know which side you're protecting, and that allows Walker Harris an area of comfort where he can feel comfortable in the pocket.
And he goes to the outside, and play broken up, but a penalty marker comes out as well. That was Jordan Franklin, the linebacker, who leaked into coverage.
For number 1, Christian Mosley.
So Jason Swaisman, we'll hear from him in just a second.
Holding, offense number 62. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
So the Bulldogs decline the penalty that was called against the center, Noah McKinney.
Right there, that's Noah McKinney, gets put on roller skates going backwards. Called for the takedown.
And a 31-yard field goal attempt for Caleb Robinson. He already hit one early today from 41. And this one goes through and is accurate as well. So a couple of field goals, but Chinnis Berry's crew is just holding them to just that as the Eagles trailing by 2 scores. at 10 a.m. Eastern with the Countdown Crew on ESPN, the all-new ESPN app. They'll have all the early breaking stories, injury updates, and previews of each game right up to kickoff. Well, players from both of these programs currently in the NFL, Jacoby Durant, Javon Hargrave in the NFL, representing Bulldog Nation. Back here at O'Kelly Riddick Stadium, Tiffany Green, Jay Walker with you. A 17-6 ball game. South Carolina State set to get the ball back again. Trying to remain atop of the MEAC standings with Delaware State as Jalen Johnson comes out of his end zone. A little shifty move and goes down near the 21-22 yard line as some laundry flies out towards the end of the play.
Something I noticed, point of emphasis, takedown blocks on kickoff returns and punt returns are being scrutinized within the MEAC
There's no foul for an illegal block in the back. The block was legal. First down.
Let's just catch you up on how South Carolina State got out to this lead. And Billy Atkins, we knew that he was one of the top passers in the country, and he showed why so far.
I mean, those are pretty ball. You saw the intermediate throw there, then hitting the guy in stride off a double move. Not an easy throw, even though the receiver is wide open for the score. So it's the deep football throwing ability of Billy Atkins that's been on display here for the Bulldogs.
To Jordan Smith, and no room to run really for Jordan Smith as Zarian Walters with the tackle. Here's the numbers for Billy Atkins: 10 of 14, 143 yards. He had 8 straight completions and 2 touchdowns in a matter of what, 14 seconds?
He's hot.
10 seconds, right?
Yeah, he's hot. Forget about the 2 of 6. Right now, the 8 of 8, keeping that going, staying in control, making accurate throws, and give credit to the offensive line, giving them time.
Intercepted. Eric Adams has it. Adams trying to return it for a touchdown. Takes it to the house. North Carolina Central knew coming in they needed to protect the nest. And what have the Eagles done is they popped right back into this ball game after that pick 6 from Eric Adams, who's really stepped up with the absence of Malcolm Reed, who's been out with an injury.
Yeah, great recognition. You see Atkins over there talking to his offensive coordinator, Jonathan Williams. Where'd he come from? And Adams did a great job sliding underneath on a little slough route to make a big play for Trey Oliver's Eagles.
Extra point attempt for Caleb Robinson. It's up and it's through. And North Carolina Central has got something to say as they've come back with a flurry of points in 49 seconds. They had the field goal and then this pick 6 for a touchdown. That's 10 points in 49 seconds, folks.
Yeah, really good job. Once he peels off, so actually Adams was sliding across the zone formation with the secondary receiver. Notice a crossing man coming across and DeAndre Ruffin. And what did he do? He said, wait a minute, I'm just not going to give you an easy throw. I'm going to become a football player. As he read the quarterback's eyes, located the route, and more impressively, was able to take it to the house and put points on the board for North Carolina Central.
4th INT of the season for Billy Atkins, who we talked about just before that drive, who had been really hot for a quick spurt of this game. But Trey Oliver, who is again acting as the defensive coordinator with his DC Jesse Thompson on the mend, and the NCCU sound machine getting rolling. Here on the kickoff, and it's Jalen Johnson, who's got speed on the return. Johnson still on his feet, across the 40, 45, look, giddy up. Jalen Johnson out of New Orleans, Louisiana. You see how he can change the game and kick off.
And they've been aggressive. He's been taking everything out. 3 or 4 yards in the end zone, taking it out. That's the mindset of South Carolina State. Come in here, be aggressive. Probably could have let that ball land and go into the end zone, but he's been aggressive all night. We run our return men to return the football. Big time return by South Carolina State's Jalen Johnson.
And so Trey Oliver needs to see his defense step up like they did again on that last drive. As KZ Adams looking for some space. And Adams goes down.
Now it gets interesting, too. Quarterback just threw an interception. Tried to run the ball first down, got nothing. You got to throw. How quickly does Billy Atkins have short memory? I'd come up, roll up press coverage on these wide receivers. Don't give them anything with a pre-snap read. Try and cause confusion. Maybe get them to hold the ball for a half a second longer so the defensive line can get involved.
As they look to the sideline for the play, he's got it in, and
too easy a throw up top.
Atkins feels the pressure, squeezes the pocket, he goes down. And take a bow, Mekhi McCall. 9-yard loss on the sack.
He was in trouble when he looked the wrong way. Up to the top of the screen, he had an easy receiver that was open, but they made him hold it half a second longer. They rolled the coverage that way. And I said that half a second would make him think about it, and then the defensive pressure got to him.
And things starting to ramp up here in Durham. An all-important MEAC game between South Carolina State and North Carolina Central. Atkins steps up and runs. We don't see that very often for him, but that's what the defense was giving. Max Urin and Wisdom Sims on the tackle. Pickup of 11. That's going to be short of the first down marker by a bit. And the punting unit comes on, and that's a win for this Central defense. A reinvigoration that we have seen from that defensive unit after it was Chinnis Berry's team who punched the home team in the mouth after the first quarter. Was up 17-3. And forcing a 3-and-out here.
Well, the special teams play.
Outstanding. Second of the night that we have seen Janish pinning the offense on the 2-yard line. That's where this drive will start for Central when we come back. Back here on the campus of North Carolina Central and founded by Dr. James E. Shepard, originally as a National Religious Training School back in 1910. The enrollment continues to grow by leaps and bounds. North Carolina Central is one of the hottest HBCUs. They won the Celebration Bowl back in 2022. They've got an outstanding law school. A lot of big things happening here in the Bull City. Meanwhile, the Eagles offense backed up from their 2-yard line. Walker Harris and Chris Mosley in the end zone. Harris throwing from that C, trying to get some breathing room, and it's intercepted. There's a flag out as well as Quantre Harry comes up with it. Let's await the call. It appears that it's going to go against South Carolina State.
In the secondary, I wonder if they call Jared Washington. He and Chauncey Spikes were mixed up on the bottom half of the screen.
Pass interference, defense number 24. 15-yard penalty for the previous spot, automatic first down.
The first penalty of the night, and Chinnisberry is like, man, what's up with that?
Ah, that's tough.
Quantre Harry, who got that interception.
Don't you have a right to go for the ball? That's a missed call. Might have been something called there early. You see the flag come in at the bottom of the screen away. You have a right to go for a ball. I don't believe that call was supposed to be on Harry. I saw the flag come from the bottom, but that's a fortunate break for North Carolina Central.
So now from the 17-yard line of Central, Harris hands it off. Here's Chris Mosley. And Mosley, who America got to see at the start of the season in that MEAC SWAC challenge.
We're going back, just trying to look for the pass interference, and that's just, I don't see how you call that. I mean, you're allowed to reroute it. I don't know if that was it, but got to play forward on it. Got to move forward, take advantage of it for North Carolina Central.
So as I was saying, Mosley, who had a season high 182 yards against Southern, his first game of the season. Again, it was kind of been the workhorse for this group. Better than 800 yards on the ground coming into tonight's game. Pick up of 3, now 3rd and 1.
Continue to run the football.
And pushing ahead for the necessary yardage is Mosley in a fresh set of downs.
And that's the difference. So after the interception was thrown by South Carolina State, they tried to go back to the throwing and weren't successful, got sacked. Central, when you have a running game, Walker Harris just threw an interception for all intents and purposes, but he got away with an interception. What do? You hand the ball off to settle him down. That's what you want to have on a balanced offense where you can run or pass effectively. And North Carolina Central relying on the running game so they can get their quarterback back in rhythm.
He's one of 5 preseason all MEAC selections. As Mosley goes down, and again, that push up front, very impressive from South Carolina State. Loss of 3 there.
And once again, Tiff, this sound like a broken record. And now it gets interesting. Walker Harris just threw that interception. Bad read. Passing situation. What do you do if you're South Carolina State? You get him off his rhythm. You get him off his spot, but you take a different approach. If I'm South Carolina State, I'm blitzing the heck out of him because he's a little rattled, may hold the ball for half a second longer, get rid of it too quick, and that's how you could force a big play. But I would not drop back and play straight zone coverage.
Soft on the outside, and Rufino Van Gates with the catch, and that was easy. An easy read for Walker.
And to Walker Harris's credit, he took the easy throw. Where we saw Billy Atkins not take the easy throw, go the wrong direction with his pre-snap read, Walker Harris found where's the softest coverage. Let me just get a completion, get back in rhythm, and it's 3rd and manageable.
Got to pick up 4, get to the 40, or rather 38-yard line. Walker looking. Van Gates once again with the reception, a little hop step, trying to find a little extra room as he's brought down by Marcus Samuels, but good enough for a first down.
Rufino Van Gates, the Division II All-American who transferred into North Carolina Central wanted to play at a higher level, showing you very difficult to bring down. Has been a pleasant surprise for the Eagle offense.
Yeah, he's really made some good plays. Impact role player for the Eagles. On 1st and 10, going to him once more, going to the well a 3rd time, but out of bounds and drop either way, and it's 2nd and 10. Well, Trey Oliver knew that coming in, they were going to have to be intentional about their preparation ahead of tonight's game, intentional about their execution. It's a word that's been used a whole lot leading up. Chris Mosley, who's in the backfield, addressed the team and reminding them to stay locked in. They've got Celebration Bowl in their mind, and if not, an opportunity potentially for the FCS playoffs in their sights. They can help themselves on this drive as Chris Mosley, who's being dragged down by his jersey. A big gain on the play. Pickup of 21.
The vision, and watch him wait for 62, Noah McKinney, to set the bot. Once the center set which direction he was going to take his defensive lineman, Mosley had the ability to readjust, make a jump stop, and get upfield in a hurry. Chris Mosley, an added bonus for the Central offense tonight because he was a game-time decision.
5th-year senior out of Fort Worth, Texas. Mosley, 12 carries tonight, 64 yards. He remains in the backfield as Bracey in motion. Play action. Harris has Van Gates, goes up and gets it. Rufino Van Gates goes airborne inside the 10, and here come the Eagles.
Great execution by the offense. Started with the pickup blocks by Mosley in the backfield, and Rufino Van Gates with a fantastic readjustment to find the football.
Been critical on this drive, 1st and goal, and so has Chris Mosley, who stays on his feet and somehow rumbles into the end zone. The balance of Chris Mosley. He talked about his team needing to remain locked in, and he was certainly that on that run.
Well, we circled the calendars way back in August and said the game of the year in the MEAC will be South Carolina State versus North Carolina Central. After State had a big lead, guess what, Tiff? It's turning out to be the game of the year. Both teams battling, knowing what's at stake.
17 unanswered points from North Carolina Central.
When it's all on the line, you need a running back that's not going to
Oh, this is living up to the billing already, and just, what, 2:58 remaining in this first half. Rufino Van Gates was a dude on that drive.
All right, so let's take a look at where Rufino lines up. Here in a slot position, but the same thing we saw earlier, they did it against him too. Give me a little double move action, stutter go, and then relocate the football. You'll see it. Same things make you laugh, can make you cry, as North Carolina Central does to South Carolina State with a little double move. Get them inside, locate the football. That was the big play on the drive. Woo! This is a boxing match.
Yeah. We knew that a slugfest was on the way. Van Gates, 3 catches, 45 yards on that touchdown drive, capped off by Chris Mosley. This one going into the end zone and a touchback. Well, we saw South Carolina State own that first quarter. They handled things, 157 yards, but in the second quarter, it's shifted to North Carolina Central, 136 yards, but also credit the defense for the Eagles for holding the Bulldogs offense to just 3 yards thus far.
They've continued to control the line of scrimmage in terms of the running game. So anytime they can stop South Carolina State from getting effective rush plays on first down, then the defense is able to peel back their ears and play with their secondary coverage and cause some confusion to Billy Atkins.
Just under 3 minutes to go in the first half, and we'll see if South Carolina State can put some points on the board. And in this 17-point run that we've seen from Central, Atkins looking, got tied up. DJ Estes was right there with Jordan Smith. Pass incomplete. It's 2nd and 10.
Estes with his instincts. All right, I got a little bone to pick right now.
Okay.
The football player in me's coming out. This game is close, right? It's a 3-point game. Whoever gets the momentum going to the locker room is going to be big, right? The crowds are trying to do it, but where are both teams' bands?
They're getting ready.
This is when
they're getting ready for halftime.
Don't you want your team to be winning? Get in the game. You need the game, the band to get the crowd up. You need to make some noise. They're so busy stretching. You got to finish out this half.
Look, they are about to have their performance of the night here on 2nd and 10. Atkins with the completion to Nick Brown. Nick Brown, his 2nd reception of the night. Jay, don't forget all the work that the bands put into
absolutely
put into it. Secondly, you gotta pick sides of what you want, because sometimes you don't want the band to play if you're a football player on the field, right?
The band is supposed to be a complement to the school spirit of the football team. This is the football game taking place. Most important game of the year for both teams. And where are the bands right now? Where are the bands right now? Not making a sound when both of them need it.
The NCCU sound machine stretching, getting ready for the halftime performance. The marching 101 for South Carolina State has to get ready. Hey, let's take a look at the Red Lobster Band of the Year Division I rankings. The top 5 teams released. And we should know very soon who are going to be the top 2 teams coming up soon. North Carolina A&T leading the front of the pack, along with Southern.
How about this, too?
Florida A&M.
How about this?
Norfolk State and Texas Southern. Texas
Defending
Southern.
champion, Florida, your Florida A&M Rattlers. I don't say anything good about it.
Okay. North Carolina A&T won it in the inaugural here. We've seen Southern a few times this year. They've been outstanding. The Spartan Legion holds it down. And what's Texas Southern's band name? The Ocean
of Soul. Ocean of Soul, and the motion of the ocean, the dance squad that complements them.
Remember, you'll see the bands on ESPN Plus at the half here. Big 3rd and 1 upcoming for South Carolina State. No. False start against
offense. Number 52, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
False start against
all
South
3.
Carolina State. That's tough right there.
Yeah, that's tough. And, you know, there's supposed to be some rules against that, trying to force the offense to draw offsides. That was simultaneous time movement. You know, I remember a couple years ago, we see Alabama A&M do it 6-7 times a game.
Timeout.
That brings us to the 2-minute timeout. Billy Atkins' numbers before throwing that pick 6, and since, can he lead them in the final 2 minutes? All right, folks, welcome back in. Game summary, bringing you up to how we got here. Look, this has been a fun football game. It was South Carolina State who was controlling things early. They were up 17-3 after one, and then
North Carolina Central defense got the spark after being pushed around. Adams comes up with the huge pick six. They get it going with the running game, one of the most dynamic rushers in Chris Mosley, having an impact on the game. And North Carolina Central snatched the lead away from the Bulldogs. Continue to hold on to it.
And we've talked about how 3 of the last 4 meetings have come down to a field goal. That's what separates them right now in the final 2 minutes of the first half. 3rd and 6 for the Bulldogs. Atkins surveys, pass complete to Jalen Johnson. Johnson with the first down.
That's the matchup. I mean, I was looking at that. They're picking on Jazeer Dukes. So anytime they put Dukes one-on-one versus Johnson, that's exactly where William Atkins is going. They did a little half motion across the formation, sprinted across, easy throw and catch.
There is no option for
Shimon Price,
the clock will stop due to
the
the first
injured
down.
offensive lineman for South Carolina State, the graduate out of Irmo, South Carolina. And on that left side, he's pointing toward that left shoulder area, so they're going to try to help him up. And Coach Berry, the former O-lineman himself, helps up one of the big dogs.
You know, and I think that's what's unique about Chennis Berry as an offensive coach. He was an offensive lineman, so he understands football inside out. It all starts in the trenches, and when he was at Southern University, he was the offensive line coach, then became offensive coordinator, and now all of his teams managed to control the line of scrimmage.
Played his college ball at Savannah State. He's worked his way through the coaching ranks in the HBCU landscape. Now with 1st and 10. Atkins goes down, right up the gut. Big play there by Donquarius Parker.
Great job running the stunt by Parker. Comes from his in position on a twist. He's spying the quarterback, and once he recognizes there was no threat, accelerates for the big hit up the middle. Those are the hits that hurt, Tiff. When they're coming up the middle and you got nowhere to run, ouch.
Right now, the defense for Trey Oliver playing well. 3rd sack of the night. They've also got 6 tackles for a loss. Now in the final minute of the first half, South Carolina State does have 3 timeouts to work with, but they are taking their time here, running the play clock down to just about 1. Atkins steps up into KZ Adams, and Adams with the reception brought down at the 44-yard line. Gain of 11. Max Huron was there on the stop, and now we're going to see a timeout taken.
Timeout
by South Carolina State.
Their 1st and a half will be 30 seconds.
And you often hear, Jay, coaches talk about the importance of playing a full 60
game clock
minutes.
for 41
after
seconds.
we talked with Chennis Berry in that first quarter, he was very pleased with the first 15 minutes of this ball game, but it's been a shift here in the second quarter.
Yeah, the defense wins championships, and we saw North Carolina Central make a championship adjustment to slow down South Carolina State offensively, and then the running game. I'll ask Coach Berry, what are you concerned about a little bit? You know he had to be thinking, well, we've been up 17-0 on these guys before and barely held on. Well, this year, North Carolina Central walked them down before the half, and the rest of the half remains to be played. This is a pretty big 3rd down right here. And I noticed something. Jazeer Dukes is not on the bench. So they've removed him because they were able to pick on him in the secondary. North Carolina Central, they're going with Jakari Martin, the second, his backup, number 6. Here at the bottom of your screen, let's see if they locate him and try to take advantage of that matchup with the newcomer in the game.
He's matched up with Jalen Johnson, but that's okay because up front handling things is this defensive line for North Carolina Central, not giving Billy Atkins the time that he needs.
Rolling on the field is a fumble recovered by the offense.
You need
Timeout, North Carolina Central, their first of the
Good
half.
job by the
Give me a
pass rush
30-second
getting there,
timeout.
doing a good job. That's Thomas Johnson, number 10, making an impact. You know, a guy that's got 11 sacks on the season, gets to the quarterback, gets the fumble, almost a script sack. But a good job by Thomas Johnson making an impact on this game, and the Eagles calling timeout to try and increase their lead before the half.
Well, they talked about just how relentless Thomas Johnson is. Great backstory. From California, was headed the JUCO route, and then the previous D-line coach called him up. He had never seen North Carolina Central before. He took a leap of faith, came here, was injured or hampered by injuries last season, and now he has stepped up in his redshirt junior season. Now 4th and 12, and so Janish on the punt. He has done an excellent job, an area where South Carolina State has won tonight. He's in the special teams game. Fair caught by Makai Wall. So North Carolina Central, do you try to tack on any more before going into the locker room? Yes, why? Because not only do you want to extend this lead, but also South Carolina State gets the ball back.
Scoreboard operator, please
30
correct the
seconds.
number of
You have an
North
experienced
Carolina
quarterback in
Central
Walker
timeouts,
Harris.
please.
You've got a
North
great
Carolina
running back
Central
out of
has
the
2
backfield
timeouts
who's a
remaining.
good receiver in Chris Mosley, and you want to get Chauncey Spikes involved in this game. You know, whether before the half, a big catch one-on-one, but you've got a timeout. You have 2 timeouts in college football. You should be able to think we can get a shot at a big play at getting in field goal range.
Chauncey Spikes to the top of your screen, closest to the South Carolina State sideline. He's their big play receiver. And Chris Mosley, they just run it up the middle. They were trying to pick up some big yardage on first down, only 5. So they're going to spend
Timeout, North Carolina Central.
another timeout.
Second
They've
of the
got
half,
1
30
remaining.
seconds.
Wow, and he almost broke that. I mean, having Mosley on the field as a weapon is great. Not the draw play. don't like the draw play. You burned the timeout. You still have 1 before the half.
Well, 25 seconds to go. North Carolina Central has outscored them in this quarter 17-0. And Walker Harris so far tonight, 6 of 11, 111 yards. And he's got 25 seconds to work with.
If they can get Spikes, who's at the top of your screen in a one-on-one matchup, this is where you should look to go with the football. Safety comes down, so they're playing off. Look for that matchup.
It's going to be a good matchup, as no need for that, because right there to wrap him up, bring him down. Number 7, Kayvon Chisholm takes down Walker Harris. The sack, and now North Carolina Central is going to elect not to run another play before the end of the half, and they're going to be satisfied with trotting into the locker room with a 3-point advantage over South Carolina State. This is MEAC football on ESPN Prime Time. The emotion, the energy. Trey Oliver knows what's at stake. So do the Eagles. They are up by 3 over the defending MEAC champion, South Carolina State Bulldogs.
It's time for a glass of the bubbly, but you must be at least 21 years of age to sip on this. Music by Ben Jackson. He's the champion world Remember the rules. Let's go 101. Sound machine, you wish you could do this.
machine, that other band was disrespecting the nest, will remind them where they are. Ladies and gentlemen, today is a very special day for the Sound Machine. As today, we will take some time to honor all our senior members for their service to the Sound Machine. Ladies and gentlemen, as our Sound Machine members are preparing to be greeted by their loved ones, I just want to make sure that you show them some love as we call these names. And first, Miss Jada Stanford. She is escorted by Aquila Stanford and Marquise Osgood. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for Jada Stanford. Next, Alexandria Addison. She is escorted by Bradley and Ladora Addison. Make some noise for Allie Addison. Next, Khalil Ray. She is escorted by Karis Moses and Ricky Smith. Ladies and gentlemen, Khalil Ray. Prim Shepard Jr. He is escorted by Tamara Cobbs and Lisa Shepard. Prim Shepard Jr. Next, Dylan Taylor. He is escorted by Dana King and Rodney Taylor. Miss Soraya Kawan. She's escorted by Marquise York and Kayla Williams. Demetrius Brown, escorted by his mother and father, Crystal and John. Crystal Dillon, escorted by Latia Dillard and Demetrius Dillard. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for Crystal. Desiree Hurd. She is escorted by her mother, Nicole. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for Desiree. Mark Stout, escorted by Pamela Craig and Mark Stout Sr. Show some love for Mark. Miss Emerson Johnson. She is escorted by Dr. Shanita Allen, Ron Johnson, and Betty Wilson.
Welcome back to Durham and a MEAC slugfest between two heavyweights, South Carolina State and North Carolina Central. The Eagles protecting home field. They've got a 3-point advantage here at the half as we welcome you back, fam. Jay Walker, Tiffany Green, and obviously we talked about the importance of this game as both teams vying for that opportunity to be named a MEAC champion. It's been all that and then some, Jay. How have you enjoyed it?
Oh, well, I thought you were going to say all that in a bag of chips, but maybe
That's
I'm old school.
That's old, Jay.
Hey, in a bag of chips would give me the dips and the salsa to go along with it there. This game is what we thought we would see. When it looked like one team gained momentum, was going to run away with it, the other team said not so fast, fought themselves back into it, and took the lead, meaning it's a coin toss game. A coin toss at halftime. Who can win? Either one of these teams can win this game.
Well, it was South Carolina State on the road. They came out punching first. They got on the board. They really controlled that first quarter. Billy Atkins looked sharp early on.
I think we realize how reliant they are on Billy Atkins, the transfer from JMU. He's the guy that makes this drink go. When he gets things going, this offense is deadly. But when they took him out of rhythm, as you saw the interception return for a touchdown by defensive back Adams for North Carolina Central, that allowed Central to get into it. The running game to complement the throwing arm of Walker Harris, and that's basically where we are right now.
There was a 17-0 run in that second quarter for North Carolina Central to surge back in this one. Total yards pretty similar, but you go back to that 5 right there on rush yards for South Carolina State.
If they don't get to 50 yards rushing, they're probably not going to win this football game, whether that's a Billy Atkins rush touchdown or somebody breaks it, but you cannot win a championship caliber game with 5 yards rushing.
Well, we saw that defense be disruptive for North Carolina Central, and they were all up in Billy Atkins' grill a time or two, as well as the secondary doing their thing.
And outside of the interception that was returned, they brought pressure. So you saw them figure out ways to get to Atkins, make him double clutch the football, and then they were hitting him over and over again. They stopped letting him get comfortable in the pocket. Their players came up and made big-time plays to throw off the rhythm of Billy Atkins, and I think that's the key. Now, can Trey Oliver get his defensive line to continue to win that battle at the line of scrimmage to be disruptive?
Trey Oliver has talked about the intentionality of his group and obviously all that's at stake for tonight's game. If they want to remain in the hunt for a MEAC championship, they've got to walk away with a win tonight on the return. That's Makai Wall. Wall bouncing off, staying on his feet. Ball comes loose at the end. And South Carolina State is signaling that they have it. Wall, who had an explosive return, saw the ball come loose right there at the end, and South Carolina State comes up with it. Bulldogs are celebrating. We're waiting for the official call. The refs say yes, they do. David Wilson, who recovered that onside kick earlier, comes up with the fumble recovery.
It's a fumble recovered by the kicking team. First down.
To start the third quarter.
And in the first half, South Carolina State won the battle of special teams, and here you'll see going to the ground, ball clearly out. And a good job of getting on the football for the recovery.
Rolling on the field of a fumble recovered by the kicking team is under further review.
Huge play to start off this second half by the Bulldogs special teams.
That was Antoine McCray. Credit him for twisting and kind of popping that ball loose, knocking it in a jar. They're going to review this upstairs, but I'll be honest, it looks pretty clear that that will be upheld. The ruling on the field will be upheld. Look at 89, that's McCray. And it comes loose before Wall touches the ground.
And prior to that, Wall had bounced off a pretty hard hit. It was just getting his bearings about him on the field before the defender came over with another hard hit on the football. And a great play by the Bulldogs special teams.
Jay, you've said that all night long, right? We've seen, you know, the punter pin North Carolina Central inside the 10, inside the 15 a couple of times. Jalen Johnson with a great return. I mean, special teams play is the thing that's kind of separating and standing out here for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, and I think that if you take a look at all that's happened on the first half, That's why I felt comfortable saying South Carolina State won the battle of special teams. And they're looking like they're off to a great start here in the second half as well.
At the review, there is no foul for targeting as that was being reviewed. Also, the ruling on the field is upheld. It was a fumble recovered by the kicking team. First down, South Carolina State.
So each team with one turnover apiece. Best starting field position for Chinnisberry's crew, second time in Central Territory. From the Eagles, 45. William Atkins, the fourth, back on the field, unloads, pass complete and caught by DeAndre Ruffin. Ruffin, who had that TD earlier in the first half, and Ruffin, who's slow to get up, a pickup of 15 yards as he's still seated
timeout for an injury
on the ground. Ruffin, who is the graduate student from Savannah, Georgia. Another look here on the outside after the catch.
The double clutch ball hangs in the air for a while. Kind of gets, you see that right leg get kind of twisted underneath. Fortunate to see him able to hobble off, and hopefully he'll get better and able to return to this football game.
He came over from Allen University out of the SIAC in Columbia, made his way to Orangeburg, South Carolina. And the Bulldogs go with KZ Adams. We told you in the first half, he took a redshirt year with Georgia State, spent 2 seasons there, but coming out of high school, first player to rush for more than 3,000 yards in a season in the Palmetto State.
Adams is a guy that, although they had rushing yards in the first half, he had 20 yards on 8 carries, so he was tough to bring down for South Carolina State.
And a great example there of how tough he was to bring down just there, spinning off and staying on his feet. Another good gain, this time 9 yards, fresh set of downs. And Chinnisberry knew that his team was going to be in a big fight tonight against North Carolina Central. In the red zone. Atkins quickly gets it away, overthrows his man, Jordan Smith. He had the step, but it comes up incomplete, 2nd and 10.
And now I think it's one of those things where you're trying to find the crossing route there on the sides, and ball just high. The defensive back was in the trail position, but you have to find a different place to go with the football. What I want to see, this is the MEAC, right? MEAC championship battle. You have to be tough. You have to run the football tough. You have to establish you can run the ball. First down, I would have been running the ball with KZ Adams. Now I'm still trying to establish the running game at South Carolina State.
Well, Atkins is going to tuck it and run himself. Takes a little contact there from Isaiah Lawson. So now 3rd down upcoming. It's going to bring 3rd and 7.
And now you become one-dimensional again in an obvious passing situation because they just have not been effective rushing the football or have just gotten away from running the football. Keep an eye on where number 10, Thomas Johnson, is. If I'm South Carolina State, lining up for that stand-up linebacker defensive end position, number 10, in man on the line of scrimmage.
Atkins steps up, double clutches, holds on to it, and then brought down by Christian Smith. No gain on the play. And so Nico Canvinius Alti is going to come on to try to tie up this ball game. South Carolina State, who got on the board first in this game. It was by way of Alti now from 28 yards out, and a penalty marker.
There is no foul for an illegal substitution. The offense has 11 players on the field.
So the flag picked up, and the Spaniard ready to kick it. Comes over from Kaiser, NAIA program. in Florida. He's kicked in championship games, and Coach Dennis Berry just raved about the leg that he has. This one, a little chip shot, makes it easy, up and in, and it's a tie ball game. It almost feels like who is going to be the last one standing to deliver that big blow, because they're trading punches back and forth, tied up 20 apiece. Let's get you up on the MEAC standings. Delaware State, South Carolina State, unblemished in conference play there atop the MEAC standings. North Carolina Central trying to find that little crease in there to stay in the hunt. They're at 2-1. A win tonight would be huge, as we have some big ones coming up this weekend. And of course, you go to next weekend, South Carolina State traveling to Dover to take on Delaware State. North Carolina Central will close out the season on the road at Morgan.
I have a question for you after the kick.
Okay. Rufino Van Gates on the return. Van Gates with a lot of room and just tripped up as Van Gates was getting going. Well, UFC 322 is tomorrow at Madison Square Garden, highlighted by two title fights, the welterweight and the women's flyweight belts. They're both on the line. Prelims begin at 8 Eastern on pay-per-view. You can buy it on ESPNplus.com/pay-per-view.
You ready for my question?
Question,
I
sir.
think you can answer this.
Okay.
And I don't know. I really don't know. What happens if 3 teams in the MEAC finish 3-1?
So they're going to look at a couple of things in terms of criteria for a multi-team tie. If all teams played each other, there's a head-to-head competition that they're going to look at, right? As spinning off and going down is Christian Mosley. but they're going to try to figure out who's going to be the outright champion that would represent the MEAC, right? So they're going to look at head-to-head records against all the tied teams. If the tie still exists, they're going to use a points system to try to figure out.
Like points by separation, how much you beat an opponent by?
No,
or?
More so awarding points for if you've won a non-conference game against an FBS opponent versus an FCS opponent. So 6 points for an FBS opponent, 4 points will be awarded for an FCS team, and then they will subtract points as well. So it gets complicated, I know. And so the team with the highest point total will receive the berth to the Cricket Celebration Bowl. Out of the MEAC, in the event there is a three-way tie.
Wow. Okay.
You loved that, didn't you?
That's. I thought there would have been actually like who held the edge in the driver's seat. Like, you know, the Central know they've got an edge and they would need it to be cloudy to win. We know for Delaware State, they run the table. They're going to get it. That means they will have beaten South Carolina State last weekend of the season. But you know, it's like it seems real cloudy. I know a lot of fans are trying to figure it out because I'm trying to figure it out.
That's the intrigue of this game, and obviously the remainder of the weekend. And next weekend, Jordan Franklin will hit Walker Harris as he was going to the sideline. Harris is trying to get into the ear of Jason Swayzman, like, hey.
He's got a beeline on him. He's slowing down. He had the angle on. Fair. I'm okay not with the penalty. I'm okay not with the penalty. However, because he was in the field of play, but he had a beat line on him. He had a beat line. That was a close call there by Jordan Franklin, able to get away with a lick on the quarterback.
The official was right there on the sideline to see, and 2nd and 6 from the 50-yard line. Shamari Reed, who was showing blitz, changing things up at the line. Walker Harris has 1 second to work with on the play clock, and Trey Oliver not pleased that he has to spend a timeout here with 9:22 to go in the third quarter.
Media timeout.
So we're going to talk it over. We'll step aside here from the Bull City.
Hey, what's up, folks? How about this? Let's give out some hardware. Jay's Gimme 5. We're going to do a things I like style, what I see. How about this? One of the performances on the year on the bubble, that homecoming show at Jackson State with the alumni drum majors. There were like 24 drum majors stepping. That was a good one. Number 5, the same weekend, my game of the year was Alabama State versus Jackson State. That was a heavyweight shootout, kind of like this one is right now. Number 4, I see you, Coach Jack. I'm going to give it up to you. Delaware State's my team of the year. I don't care how this season plays out. Won one game a season ago. And then the defensive player of the year, I'm going with Jared Washington, South Carolina State. We're seeing him in this game. He may need to make a play to keep the Bulldogs' chances alive. The offensive player of the year. If you've never seen Curtis Allen from Virginia Union, the Panther running back is phenomenal. 200 yards rushing per game. He's legit. And number 1, Coach T. Jack and the Fighting Panthers of Prairie View A&M. Nobody saw them a game away from clinching a berth in the SWAC championship game.
Good list. I would agree with a lot of what you said back here on 2nd and 6 after the North Carolina Central timeout and the pass incomplete from Walker Harris. All right. A little time to chime in with Tiff's 2 cents. Okay, I'm going to go back to Jackson, right? And that play of the year at the end of the game, Jackson State's defense standing up and stopping Alabama State on the 2-yard line. HBCU newcomer of the year. They've got an excellent rushing attack. James Jones has been phenomenal. We saw him break one big last week against Morgan State. And, of course, the Hornets have the leading rushing attack in all of FCS with better than 286 yards on the ground. Pass complete and a first down here for Nassim Cosby, who was fighting for more yards.
3-man rush. When you don't pressure Walker Harris, he'll pick you apart. I mean, look at this. I mean, even though they get to him with a 3-man rush, something to be concerned about, but he feels confident in his pocket when you only rush 3, delivers a strike to Cosby.
Walker Harris, who was given the keys after Davius Richard, the Black College Football Hall of Famer, player of the year, graduated, still on staff now as a QB coach, and is working with the QB Walker Harris and Makai Wall on the receiving end for the score. Eagle pride amplified on that play as NCCU grabs the lead back.
Rhythm is so important in the North Carolina Central passing game. Gives him a chance to get around the drop defender and throws the ball in rhythm.
The extra point attempt is up and is through.
Hey, Tiffany, how do you like your rhythm? Do you like it in the rhythm of the night? Do you like the Rhythm Nation? What kind of rhythm do you like? Well, whatever it is, North Carolina Central serving it up. Walker Harris style delivers a touchdown to Makai Wall. Soar, Eagles soar.
Oh, it's a party inside O'Kelly Riddick Stadium because it's a 24-3 run for North Carolina Central. They grab the lead back up by a touchdown after South Carolina State started this game 17-3 after one. It's been all North Carolina Central since.
It's going to take a lot, though. A lot of football left to be played. And, you know, we showed Chennis Berry over there, and you mentioned something to me earlier that I never realized. He's never lost a conference game. But let's go ahead and take a look what happened on that touchdown. And take a look at number 10, Jordan Franklin right here. Not the best angle, but I'm going to show you something. He's flat-footed. And when he does not take the time to reroute him, as the play runs, he's standing still. Everybody's moving, going past him. You don't reroute the wide receiver. Easy throw and catch for North Carolina Central. Got to do a better job getting hands on that guy.
So let's see the response from Billy Atkins IV and this South Carolina State offense. Can they answer back?
KZ Adams in the backfield. Like to see them establish them running the football effectively.
Jalen Johnson on the reception, his third of the night. And Atkins in this offense trying to move with some tempo, and then they look to the sideline for the call. Atkins, we mentioned, came over from James Madison, graduate transfer, already with his degree in economics, and trying to lead South Carolina State back to another Cricket Celebration Bowl. Eric Phoenix did it last year with a lot of players coming over with Coach Chennis Berry from Benedict. And now with a pretty new team, Bulldogs looking to have the same success here on 3rd and 3. Got to get to the 35-yard line to keep the drive going.
Keep in mind, South Carolina State does not have the services of DeAndre Ruffin out of the game. They bring in his backup, number 9, Nicholas Soul, on the bottom of your screen.
Out in the flat, first down picked up as Johnny Jones with the catch. Jones, who came over from Edward Waters, from one of my favorite places to say in Florida, Pahokee.
One more time?
Pahokee, Florida.
Pahokee, Florida.
Yeah, up in the Panhandle.
They play some football there.
Yeah, they do.
It seems like North Carolina Central's making South Carolina State work for everything in the passing game. So the guys are getting up close, making form tackles. That's the case. You have to stay aggressive and take a deep shot.
Thomas Johnson tried to get to him. No. Soul with the reception. Stays on his feet and then absorbs the contact from Max Urin. First down and a big play. You talked about the backup in for DeAndre Ruffin and Soul.
Soul's a big target, 6'6", transfer that came in from Benedict as well, but that was all Billy Atkins extending the play, keeping it alive.
The other side, there's Soul once again. And the ball comes out. Was he down? No. North Carolina Central comes up with it. Eric Adams, who had that pick 6 earlier, comes up with the fumble recovery.
On the field, there's a fumble recovered by the
we're going to be here for a while. Look at this.
Yeah.
That was close. I saw him get turned around as he was going to the ground. I could not locate the football.
Rolling on the field,
spin move, never a good thing.
This is under further review.
Where's that ball?
Yeah, it was kind of hiding on the side of him a little bit. This is a better angle.
Oh, that's a fumble.
Oh, he holds on to it. He's still.
That's a fumble. Wow, what a play. We lost sight of the ball for a little bit because he was turning around. Young folks at home, never a good idea to turn your back to the defense. I know hitting the X button, that's a spin move.
Right.
It's fun.
You play Madden?
It's fun. Come on, grew up on Madden.
Okay.
But
I didn't know you were on the sticks.
You can't do that. And right there, it looks like that ball is out.
And what a turn of events it would be. Another look here. Okay, so the ball is Already out there. He's holding on to it for
clinch,
dear
but
life, but cannot. And DJ
control.
Estes is the one who picks it loose.
And I would say if he had control of it, he would have had the ball. You know, he'd have come out of the pile with the ball.
After review, the rolling on the field is upheld. North Carolina Central ball, first down.
Wow. I mean, that was a great play by Billy Atkins on the RPO, calling his own number, getting the ball to the open receiver. Would have been an explosive play. Instead, it becomes an explosive turnover with North Carolina Central getting an opportunity to increase their lead.
7th fumble on the season for South Carolina State. The ball back in the hands of Central. Here on first down, the carry, fighting for yards, was Chris Mosley, brought down by a pile of Bulldog defenders.
Tough running. I saw the man-to-man coverage by South Carolina State, knowing they're going to crowd the box. So when you're going to crowd the box, you're going to play one-on-one. North Carolina Central likes to go to Chauncey Spikes in those situations. Well, guess who they move over to guard Chauncey Spikes? Jared Washington, the best defensive back in FCS football, possibly an NFL pick, as they battle at the bottom. So that frees up a guy. So they're putting the cornerbacks on the island man-to-man so they can stop the run.
But Josh Jones in, and not fooled by that at all. And quickly there was Kayvon Chisholm. Chisholm, we've called his name a few times tonight.
If I'm going against a run-stopping defense and I'm going man-to-man on the cornerbacks, putting them on an island, I've got too many bodies for you to block. In that case, great individual effort by Chisholm, but now you're setting them up.
So Walker Harris re-enters the game. 3rd and 10. Harris with plenty of time goes for Chauncey Spikes, and flag comes out at the end. And it was heaved from the field judge near the Central sideline.
He crawled up his back, and I don't necessarily know if he had to, but he absolutely crawled up the back of Chauncey Spikes.
Pass interference, defense, number 12. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
So that goes against HBCU All-American Washington.
You'll see him pull. He's there before the ball. Climbs up in there, pulls the arm, tugs his arm, or else Spikes might have made the catch. He was almost there quick enough to make a break on the ball for a possible interception. I think the officials got it right in that situation. Too fast for his own good. He just got there too quick.
Harris, again, there was a tough one on the outside. Pass incomplete to Quentin McCall. There on the play was Jalen Levine.
And these are battles. I mean, Spikes going against Washington is a battle. They're going to go at it man-to-man on 1st and 2nd down to try to prevent the running attack from North Carolina Central. But in this situation, what you don't want Chris Mosley, the running back, going one-on-one against one of your linebackers in pass coverage.
Instead, the handoff to Mosley up the middle. And a gain of a trio, so it's going to bring up 3rd and 7. Are you surprised that we're not seeing more Walker Harris to Chauncey Spikes?
Well, that matchup. I mean, that's the respect they have for Jared Washington. He's a game breaker, so if you can take advantage of some other matchups, do it. But here's obvious passing situation. You're playing with fire if you test number 12.
Harris off his back foot as he was being chased down, and 4th down.
There is no foul for intentional grounding. Receiver number 12 was in the area. It's 4th down.
So a good hold there for South Carolina State's defense after that turnover. Landon Bowman on the punt. Fair catch, and it goes into the end zone.
Advantage once again, South Carolina State special teams.
Yep. Here's tonight's ESPN2 men's college basketball doubleheader. 6th ranked Michigan takes on TCU at 9 Eastern. Then the back end of a home and home series between Graham Ike and number 19 Gonzaga and Bobby Hurley's Arizona State Sun Devils. Both games are also available on the ESPN app, so you can watch anywhere. Very busy night for North Carolina Central Athletics as Lavelle Moten and the Eagles basketball team going over to Chapel Hill to take on the Tar Heels on the hardwood.
Central, one of those always competitive MEAC basketball squads. Moten's had great success at Central. Through him.
Incomplete to Nigel Johnson.
That's who they are. First down. We're tired of running against a brick wall. We're going to put it on the right arms of Billy Atkins.
Well, Atkins, 18 of 25, 234 yards, has a touchdown, 2 touchdowns, and a pick.
Before we get too far along, that was a huge stop by the South Carolina State defense. After the turnover, forcing a punt, getting the ball back to their offense. Nice catch.
Jalen Johnson able to haul it in. Well, they like Johnson anytime they can get him the football.
And look at him catch the back end of that football, full extension. Check the stick 'em on those gloves. That was a fantastic catch.
KZ Adams picks up the first down on the run.
And so now with DeAndre Ruffin out of the game at wide receiver, the best offensive players become Jalen Johnson and KZ Adams in the backfield. Those guys need to be involved in the offense for half the plays. Use the other guys as complementary players. Soul's a complementary player in this case. Jordan Smith's a good guy there, but you have to figure out where your matchups are. And Jalen Johnson's been a problem.
The run by KZ Adams on first down, cut there, and good open field tackle.
Get them involved, right? Your best football players need to get touches. And I think KZ Adams been your best running back tonight. Tough runner, hard to bring down, getting the tough yards.
KZ Adams, who's already over the century mark tonight on the ground. Will they look to get it to him again to try to pick up this 1 yard? Atkins instead on the pass play to Cyrus Ellison. First time he's been targeted. It's incomplete. Now 3rd and 1 on the way.
Against a team that's really good at stopping the run, you really wish you could have picked it up on 2nd down. Key, North Carolina Central is going to crowd the box. But which one of their cornerbacks do they put on an island? Because we know South Carolina State not afraid to go over the top if you give them that type of look.
Adams able to find a little crease and moves the chains.
And something for, you know, the historians of HBCU football, they're probably cringing when I say tough for South Carolina State to get 1 yard rushing on the ground. I mean, this is the school that brought you great runners like Hicks, Sean Baker, the touchdown maker. I mean, they've always had running backs at South Carolina State. But with the evolution of college football, even Marvin Marshall was a quarterback who was a great runner. For them to struggle to pick up a yard has to be tough for Bulldog faithful.
Audrey Braxton coming on, giving chase to Billy Atkins and tracking him down. Loss of 1 on the play.
Watch him disrupt the quarterback. Great blitz pickup by Casey Adams, but I don't think Atkins trusted him that he was going to get the free release rusher and tried to run from the pocket, but great speed in tracking down the quarterback by Braxton.
5th sack of the night for the Eagles defense. Rolling Atkins looking, just throws it high and out of bounds.
There is no foul for intentional grounding. Quarterback was outside the pocket, got the ball to the line of scrimmage. 3rd down.
And give credit to Trey Oliver and the job that he's doing, not only as head coach, but having to be the acting defensive coordinator for the 2nd week in a row.
There is 35 seconds. 35 seconds are on the game clock. The game clock will be kept on the field.
So the scoreboard and the game clock went down temporarily. It is now back up, and here the officials say 35 seconds.
That's never a good sign if you're the visiting team and the home team scoreboard starts acting up and they've got the lead. I got some battle scars from Tallahassee back in the day.
Is that why you hate on around so much? All right, that's another conversation here on 3rd and 11. Three wide receivers to the bottom of your screen. For number 5, Jordan Smith on that crossing route coming across.
Tackles the key, and they didn't make it.
Well, Jordan Smith, who is the MEAC leader in yards coming into tonight's game, picks up a dozen and a 1st down.
On the crossing route, if they make the tackle, it would have been interesting because I'm pretty sure that South Carolina State would have gone for it anyway. But great effort to extend his body and stretch by Jordan Smith. And don't you like what the coaches said about him? He waited his turn. He sat behind some really good guys and could have left, but graduated, stayed here with this program, and this year is his time to shine. An explosive playmaker.
And that is going to be the final play of the 3rd quarter. It's a 1-score ball game. Chinnis Berry trying to motivate and encourage his team. 15 minutes of action remaining in the 4th quarter and regulation in this MEAC big-time matchup between Central and South Carolina State. Welcome back to Durham, a one-score ball game. North Carolina Central with the lead. Their head coach, Trey Oliver, with us now. And what is your message right now for the final 15 minutes of regulation?
We got to play one play at a time, and we got to finish the game. I think we're doing really well defensively as far as the run game. We got to do a little better in pass coverage. Offense play better in the second half, but we got to get touchdowns, not just field goals. But one play at a time. Let's finish the game. 15 minutes.
Trey, the floor is yours. What's it going to take to get this W?
We got to finish, man. 15 minutes. Good football team over there. So I know they're not going to lay down. They're going to quit. We got to play the best 15 minutes of the season right here.
All right, thanks, Coach. We appreciate it.
Yep, thank you.
Well, he laid it out for North Carolina Central, what it's going to take to try to stay in the MEAC hunt. And Billy Atkins on first down calls his own number and a pickup of 7.
And I think he hit the nail on the head. Condensed season, no room for error really in the MEAC. If they don't play their best 15 minutes right now, everything they've worked for in terms of trying to make it to Atlanta goes by the wayside. So do they know what the task is at hand?
Here on second down, we've seen things shift around for the attack on the ground for South Carolina State. Now they're trying to go aerial, and that one nearly intercepted. Jordan Smith, the intended target. Eric Adams almost had his second pick of the game, and a penalty marker out around the 8-yard line.
Pass interference. Defense, number 25. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
That's going to go against Dre Braxton.
Thoughts, Tiff?
Tough. Simply put, tough. Yeah, it's a tough call. I mean, there's contact, but he turned his head around to try to
look for the ball.
Look for the football.
But that's one of those calls where I just say, I don't think either coach would be mad if a flag weren't dropped. That was just football. But unfortunate for North Carolina Central.
KZ Adams on the carry, and Isaiah Lawson was quickly there to stop him. We talked about just how in the first half, North Carolina Central's defense did not give up many rushing yards or allow many rushing yards on the ground. This second half, South Carolina State has had a little bit more success. You see 4 yards per carry in this second half, and I want to make a correction from earlier. KZ Adams was at more than 50 yards on the ground. Chris Mosley has been over the century mark for Central. And the pass incomplete from Atkins. And 3rd and 9 now.
They are really having trouble with roughing out of the game. They figure their reads have to go Jalen Johnson, then Jordan Smith on the short underneath stuff.
And KZ Adams, who grabbed his hamstring, went to the sideline. So Josh Shaw now in the backfield. Going to try to get something going. Jordan Smith is it. He says, I am him. 24-yard strike. And Billy Atkins, the 4th, says, South Carolina State, not done. Right here.
Trips formation. They had the numbers they wanted and allowed Jordan Smith to just run down the seam. He just absolutely rips this throw. Poor secondary coverage.
Alty to tie it up at 27 apiece, and it's there. We'll check out how things have turned in the second half. The 3rd down conversions, this one a huge one. 5 of 6 in this second half, and that one good from Billy Atkins, the 4th, to Jordan Smith. We're not it.
Introducing Verts. Swipe for news and highlights. Now available on the ESPN app.
Well, this game is giving Jay Walker, Tiffany Green, South Carolina State, North Carolina Central at 27 all. And South Carolina State on the road, trying to notch a win, stay perfect in conference play. Meanwhile, the door's still open for North Carolina Central if they want a shot at a MEAC championship or share of it, if they can close out with a win here tonight. Rufino Van Gates on the return. Van Gates with plenty of room to the right side, and a flag comes out in the process of the return. And we've seen this so often on returns, a number of penalty markers which have been held at bay for the most part tonight.
Yeah, just frustrating when, you got a return that's going away from where they're calling the penalty opposite side of the field. But the conference has been tight on that all year.
During the return, personal foul, illegal blindside block, return team number 22. Half the distance to the goal, first down.
And once again, advantage South Carolina State when it comes to special teams.
Zion Dobson, number 22 in black, in these all-black unis. Debuted here tonight for this big game. And Chris Mosley, who has been great on the ground, coming out of the backfield, and the pass completion made. Malik Hart brings him down, no gain on the play. Well, it's a chilly 50-some-odd degrees outside, but let's tell you what's hot on the campus of North Carolina Central University. They're the first HBCU in the country to launch its own artificial intelligence institute, and the main goal of the Institute for Artificial Intelligence and Emerging Research is to advance the development of responsible AI and opening the door for students to benefit their communities in that fast-growing technology field. $1 million grant from Google.org.
I'm going to say.
There's a miscommunication there with Chris Mosley, who was the closest in the area.
But he didn't even see the ball. Walker Harris let go of this ball early. The running back didn't locate the ball. That's not a catchable ball. They're on different wavelengths.
Pass interference, defense number 3. Ball being placed at the spot of the foul, automatic first down.
I can't agree with that. I can't. Walker Harris is getting rid of the ball. The receiver's not even looking for the football. He's trying to clear out. You'll see they're trying to sneak Mosey out. Ball's gone. There's no contact. He doesn't even see the ball. It's not located there. You have to say, as an official, no. There's no way he's going to get the ball because he didn't know the ball was coming to him. If it's a hold, okay, but the ball was out of bounds by 3 yards when the official looked up and saw pass interference. That's just a bad call. Not a tough break. That's a bad call, too. In a championship game, you can't have that.
Well, 3 of the 4 penalties tonight for South Carolina State have been PIs.
Yeah, and it balances out because I thought that was a tough call that North Carolina Central got, which allowed South Carolina State to keep the drive going, which they ended up scoring on. But, we just say, get it right. If you're not 100% certain, you can call a penalty every play. But you got to be 100% certain that it's having an impact, and that's a head scratcher.
Harris trailing back, and then Makai Wall with the reception. Gain of about 5 on the play. Clock runs as he stays in bounds. Levine on the tackle. It's going to bring up 3rd and 4.
Great job of coming off the deep receiver, hitting the underneath route, and that talks about how Walker Harris knows how to go through his progressions.
They just talked about how the game has slowed down for him this season. Again, came in as the MEAC leading passer.
12 men broke the huddle, I believe. That's going to be A mental error on North Carolina Central, I believe.
There is no foul for an illegal substitution.
We've seen a number of flags thrown and then picked up. There was one example right there. So on 3rd and 4. From their own 35,
You
Harris.
have to bring pressure on Harris. You have to get him off his spot. Here it comes.
The pressure's coming. Harris avoids it. The lefty tries to get it out. He's hit as he throws. A deflection there from Jordan Franklin, who was in his face, but Malik Harp was the first to make Harris uncomfortable.
No, this is just lack of communication. Free rush. Oh. Hands to the helmet, to the face. And I hate to say it, but I'm glad that penalty didn't really have an impact, because I thought North Carolina Central was given a free first down when they didn't deserve it.
Big punt there from NCCU and South Carolina State with the ball when we come back. All roads leading to the college football playoff national championship. Taking a look at the current rankings, you see Bama, Ohio State, Texas A&M, Indiana as getting that first round bye, awaiting who would be in moving over from the first round. I gotta tell you, and I'm not just saying this, I've been really impressed with South Florida. Now, that's a bear of a matchup against Georgia as things stand now, but
South Florida?
South Florida. Yeah, Matt Golish has done a terrific job, and we saw them in the Hawaii Bowl last year, right?
How much you like on South Florida?
No, I'm just saying, it's you talked about some of the main state teams. It's refreshing, too, to see other teams, as that's a big carry up the middle from Josh Shaw, who remains on his feet, keeps his balance, crossed the 50-40, and brought down by Max Urin. Boy, the difference we have seen in the ground game for South Carolina State. They had just 5 yards rushing in the first half. And you tack on that big run there from Shaw. Now they've got 84 total yards in this second half.
They brought Shaw in. He's a downhill runner. They said one-cut runner with plenty of speed. He made one cut and hits the acceleration, and he's becoming a force and having an impact in his brief appearance in this game.
Remember, he came in for KZ Adams, who appeared to come up limping after that last drive. It was a 13-play drive down the field for South Carolina State. And it ended in a score. Just letting time come off the clock as it's tied, and Josh Shaw again, and the effectiveness that they have had. And he was brought down like around the horse collar. You were calling for a hold. You saw something earlier. It went by, I think. And then when he bounced to the outside.
Maybe a horse collar, but the initial call, I think, was too good of a block by number 77, Jacob Allen, on a hold. And then this is at the end. It looks like a face mask. Absolutely, that's the face mask. I think it'll be offset by the hold by Jacob Allen.
Fouls by both teams on the play. Holding, offense, number 77. Personal foul, face mask. Defense, number 15. Those penalties will offset. We'll replay second down.
They meant number 20, that's Eric Adams with the face mask. And then, as you mentioned, Allen up front.
Came up with a new term. You like what I said? A little bit too good of a block by Jacob Allen.
Yes, that was,
translation, a hold.
That was well done, Jay.
But watch that matchup. Allen, the backup right tackle in the game right now, going against Thomas Johnson, number 10, the Mr. Everything for North Carolina Central defensively.
So critical here because North Carolina Central spends their second time out of the half, and Trey Oliver wants to talk it over with his group. Come back with us. Here's our Week 11 Monday Night Football matchup. Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, and the Cowboys take on Geno Smith, Ashton Jeanty, and the Raiders. 8 Eastern on ABC, ESPN Deportes, and the all-new ESPN app with Peyton and Eli on ESPN2. Of course, the coverage kicks off with NFL Live at 3 Eastern from Las Vegas. And taking a look at Max Crosby and all that he does up front for that Raiders D-line, the Raiders.
They better identify where he is. Dak Prescott, every time you drop back, an impact player like Crosby, that's like the new norm now. They pay these pressure guys, pass rusher guys. If you're going to pay the quarterback all that money, well, you better pay a disruptor likewise, and that's why Crosby's so effective and well-regarded.
What a fantastic game this has been as Johnny Jones with the reception. Jones from Pahokee, the Muck, down south. As a Florida girl, I had to correct myself, so I'm going to do that right now because I said something different earlier. Wrong part of the state. The Muck. Okay. South Florida. Boom.
Okay.
I just had to get that. You know, you just keep a running clock and list in the head. 9 minutes to go in this game. Tied at 27 all. On the carry, Josh Shaw, who has been a nice boost as Max Uren slams him down. Shaw has been a really nice addition ever since KZ Adams went down. South Carolina State, we've talked about the success they've had on the ground in the second half. They're over 100 yards in this game.
Go ahead, give your partner credit. What did I say at halftime?
You said they had to have 50 yards or more. They wanted an opportunity to win this game, and they've established that running identity here.
And they have an opportunity to take the lead in this game right now on this drive.
Atkins has his man who tries to turn around and shift, and Jordan Smith couldn't get his body in position to get to it. 3rd and 4.
And this is what's so tough. If you can get to the secondary of North Carolina Central, you can get them. I mean, this is too open. I mean, at the soft spot, that's too open. Eric Adams has played a good game. He's got a pick 6, but you can't have guys running that open down in the red zone. So what do you do if you're calling the defense for North Carolina Central? You're forced to try to say we're either going to hit the quarterback or he's going to pick us apart.
Big 3rd down here. Atkins has it. Caught, made. The hands of Jalen Johnson to hold on to it. 15-yard pickup. Another look here.
Oh, you see Thomas Johnson almost gets to the quarterback, and then the break on the ball by the defensive back. I believe that was Estes getting there just a step late. Good coverage, but a better throw and catch.
1st and goal from the 1-yard line. A stoppage here.
After assistance from replay, the ball will be spotted at the 2-yard line. This is not a timeout. This is not a timeout.
So they're going to put it at the 2-yard line as Billy Atkins, the 4th, his 3rd game of 300 yards or more through the air.
This will be a hard 2 yards to get. If you try and run right up the teeth against Central, I think it's going to be a hard 2 yards to get. You have to do some misdirection.
Well, they've got the guy they wanted, Josh Shaw, downhill runner. He's looking for some space. And the stinginess right there, Jay, as you said, the difficulty. Jelani Vassell was there on the tackle. 1-yard gain on the play, 2nd and goal.
I mean, if you're South Carolina State, you do have your biggest running back in the game, Josh Shaw, 6 feet, 220+ pounds. But up front, just going straight downhill, that may be tough. I think you have to pull it.
Trying to get there, trying to lean out, but Max Uren with the stop right before the goal line. And like you said, Jay, this is indeed proving to be a hard couple of yards.
When they moved that ball back from the 1-yard line to the 2-yard line, I said, uh-oh, the defense gets hyped up on the goal line stance on the 2-yard line.
It's a player come out.
And we'll see what Jonathan Williams, the offensive coordinator for South Carolina State, has in mind.
Run the quarterback. I think you pull it, you don't run outside the pocket, but you just pull it and have him follow the running back. Got it.
You called it, Jay. Oh, the tackle made just before the goal line. It's going to bring up 4th and goal.
Short.
Jakari Martin, the second.
He celebrated a little bit too soon.
With a huge stop.
I mean, I said run the quarterback. He should have got downhill. Watch the celebration. Oh,
there's
that's
an injury on the
close.
defensive team after the ball was spotted by Roll. That's a charge timeout. North Carolina Central. That is their final timeout of the half.
Oh, this could be devastating because of the injured player in the end zone. Now, North Carolina Central without a timeout for the remainder of the ball game.
And we can't see a jersey number of the injured player down on the field in the end zone for North Carolina Central. And they're going to take a look at this.
I want to see the hit occurs about the yard line, 1.5 yard line. There was some momentum. Where's that first hit? And
to your, you said it. Everything was drawn up exactly the way that they wanted. They wanted it, and Atkins.
Elbows down.
Yeah.
I think you can't give him a touchdown. No. If you call him short on the field, I don't think there's enough to give him a touchdown. That would be my thing. Now you can't see the ball clearly over there. They called him short.
And using the technology on the sideline with the tablets to look at it here. And this is synced up pretty well. I think he's down, yeah, that elbow right there. Meanwhile, Jakari Martin, who was the tackler on the play, was down. He's up, and the call
After review, the rolling on the field is upheld. It's 4th down.
But a huge play by Jakari Martin II, who was shaken up on the play. He walks to the sideline under his own power, but Billy Atkins.
Yeah, made a mistake. Celebrated too soon. That's a not so top 10 moment. Could be devastating if they don't score now, but Jakari Martin walking over, came into this game as the backup, replaced Jazir Dukes, who they pulled from the game after getting beat a couple times. Now if you're Jazir Dukes, you get in the game, you're number 48, you get an opportunity to make up for yourself. But I don't know, see, the pull, I said run the quarterback. I think you run him, but you run him downhill. Don't try to get him outside. Let number 32, Josh Shaw, serve as a lead blocker.
Critical play here on 4th and goal with the game tied at 27-all.
Please reset the game clock to 6 minutes, 7 seconds. There was a timeout for North Carolina Central on the injury.
You know what? The longer it goes in between plays, advantage defense. The D linemen, the big boys that weigh 340, 330 pounds, they get to rest. When this ball snapped, they're going to fire off the ball.
You see everybody crowded up there. They give it over and held short. They hold them short. The defense comes up with a huge stop at the goal line for Central.
Runner was short of the line. It is a turnover on down. First down, North Carolina Central.
Wow. Hey, Tiff, I'm going to tap your partner on the back. I said the difference in 2 yards, 1st and goal, and 1st and goal on the 1 is huge. And the North Carolina Central defense felt that. Great contact by Eric Adams and Isaiah Lawson to meet him in the hole. Max Urin trying to grab the back leg there. Look at all the players that you need for Central. The names showed up. Thomas Johnson in there. Parker, Isaiah Lawson, and Adams. Wow.
An outstanding hold there from the North Carolina Central defense. Now, their offense tasked from their own 1-yard line to drive down the field 99 yards.
They just can't go 3 and out. Let the clock go a little bit,
The
put
rolling
this
on
ball
the
away,
field
you're
was heading
okay.
short of the line of gain. It is a turnover on downs.
What
However,
about-
that play is under further review.
What about Billy Atkins, the quarterback, celebrating, gets hit, stop short.
Too soon.
Too soon.
Too soon. Now, my question here as they review this play, Jay, did you like the decision to call out of shotgun 4 straight plays? You know, it used to be old school. You go underneath the center and try to, you know, push in. Did you like that decision?
I never have, but that's college football now. I mean, I hate when they're backed up. Like right now, we're going to see North Carolina Central backed up on the 1-yard line, and the quarterback's going to be in shotgun. You're already 4 yards, 5 yards deep in the end zone when you get the ball. So I'm never a fan of that. But in today's college football landscape, you got kids that, quarterbacks that don't know how to take snaps under the center. And they're trying to look, they did not let him wrestle the ball forward either. I don't see enough to say touchdown.
No.
There's been some questionable calls made by the officials in this game, but in terms of spotting the football on that series of plays, I think they got it right.
And that was an opportunity to take the lead. And again, you go back to 3rd and goal. You don't want to keep harping
After
on it,
review,
but there
the
was an
ruling on the
opportunity.
field is upheld. Turnover on downs, North Carolina Central football.
Atkins, who had the pathway to the end zone, premature celebration, stopped by Jakari Martin II. And this is fired up North Carolina Central, trying to protect home field, trying to stay in the fight for a MEAC championship.
I think you throw it. I mean, they're crowding the box. They're trying to go for the safety. You're 5 yards deep in your end zone.
Well, they're going for it on the outside. A lot of contact there. And Chauncey Spikes wanted a penalty marker. Washington was on the coverage. That's been the prime time matchup. They haven't gone to Spikes much because of Washington.
Oh, Jared Washington gets caught in no man's land. If Spike stops to come back, I think they call it. But Jared Washington in prime position. Fortunately, he didn't get called for that one.
On 2nd down, Chris Mosley giving the Eagles a little bit of breathing room. And if you're just tuning in, folks, remember North Carolina Central had a 98-yard scoring drive back in the 2nd quarter. And if they can keep this drive alive and build off of the momentum that their defense gave them after the turnover on downs, it would be huge. 3rd and 6.
Drop back in the end zone. You cannot afford to hold on to the ball too long because you'll be in jeopardy of safety. That's a flag.
No penalty marker comes out as Makai Wall is asking for it. They're going to say uncatchable perhaps, but that was close, Jay.
That was a flag. I mean, seeing it in real time, that's a pass interference. Now, if they're saying the ball's not catchable, he's over him. Oh, so yeah, right. Got me. That's not a flag. That was a flop. That was a flop. Have me sound like a washing machine here, being wishy-washy, but as long as they get it right.
Bowman on the punt after the 3 and out. 3 straight punts from the Eagles and a fair catch there as we send it over to the studio with our man, Kevin Connors. What's going on? This game of epic proportions here from Durham, North Carolina Central and South Carolina State. in a heavyweight fight. Tied at 27-all with just over 5 minutes to go. Bulldogs with the ball. There's Josh Shaw again. Josh Shaw, who's wrapped up and brought down Eric Adams, who has just been so active on the defense tonight for North Carolina Central.
You know, we're going to give a lot of credit to the job that Josh Shaw's come in and done, but let's give credit to that offensive line up front. They figured out a way to get the running game going to make this a more balanced offensive attack for South Carolina State in the second half.
He's helped Josh Shaw with 7 carries for 59 yards in the second half. And Shaw, nowhere to go. Parker was there, along with Smith, a loss of 4.
Anytime your nose tackle gets involved in the backfield, you know he won his one-on-one matchup. And big number 0, Christian Smith, huge tackle for loss to force 3rd and long. Crossing routes have been effective for South Carolina State in their passing game tonight.
Jordan Smith and Jalen Johnson have been targeted the most and have the most catches tonight as Billy Atkins, the 4th, flushed out. Gonna run for the first down. And that effort there, the tackle made by Jelani Vassell, but Atkins picks up the first down.
And that's a championship moment right there. They played zone coverage, not able to get off the field in 3rd and 10. Clock ticking. That's a huge first down for South Carolina State.
Bulldogs win this one. They remain in the driver's seat in the MEAC and have an all-important game next week against Delaware State. North Carolina Central says, wait a minute, we're here too. Jelani Vassell with the 10th tackle for a loss tonight, along with Thomas Johnson, who was the first to get to the ball carrier.
Thomas Johnson, number 10, impact player there. You'll see number 10 shed the block, locate the running back with some backside help. Able to come up with a big play, but the secondary for North Carolina Central has had their moments at night defending South Carolina State.
But right there, wide open pass complete to Cyrus Ellison. And big throw standing tall is Billy Atkins, the 4th, 14-yard pickup.
If he would have held on to that ball for 1 more second, that would have been a sack. But a quick release and another wide open receiver in the secondary for North Carolina Central allows South Carolina State to pick up a first down. They're going to take this into the 2-minute stoppage.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is setting up to be a fantastic finish from the Bull City. It's tied at 27-all in this MEAC Fest here from Central. Buckle up for the final 2 minutes. Jay Walker, Tiffany Green back here with you. How do we get here, folks? Well, South Carolina State, who controlled the tempo and tone of this game early, was up 17-3. And then North Carolina Central came right back in the second quarter. It was, or second half rather, it was such an interesting back and forth affair. Here's Josh Shaw on the carry. And Josh Shaw breaking away. He's got one man to beat. Shaw's into the end zone.
You gotta let him go.
Throws out the hooks. In the process, 30 yards. And the Bulldog Nation erupts here in O'Kelly Riddick Stadium.
Well, without any timeouts left to go, that might have been the best case scenario for North Carolina Central. Give up a quick score. Give up the quick score if you're going to give up any points. South Carolina State was set up to have a game-winning walk-off field goal, not leave any time on the clock. Now at least you get to put your offense on the field, and it's 4-down territory for the rest of the game.
Alty for the extra point. It's up and through. Josh Shaw, who has been the difference maker, 10 plays, 83 yards tonight, all in this quarter. And of course, caps off with this touchdown.
Yeah, some sealed blocks, and then the effort there, you're almost wondering, were they letting him into the end zone? I was surprised they came out with a too-high safety look, which is not what you normally do to stop the run. But I'm telling you, that's big. You know, I'm always a fan, score points. Never turn down points, but in this case situation, imagine if he goes down on the 3-yard line. They've got no timeouts. So now you're giving a potent offense that averages 34 points a game. How many points do they have now?
27. If
they get to their number, they got a chance at winning and possibly go for 2. Oh, what an ending. This is the game we thought it would be,
yes,
Miss Green.
Yes, indeed. And what did Chinnis Berry say before? One of his acronyms, his Berryisms, hold the rope, right? What are you going to do when adversity strikes? And it struck in that second, going over into the third quarter for South Carolina State. They worked their way back. They've got the lead. In the final minute and 51 seconds, Rafino Van Gates on the return. And as expected, seemingly these days on kickoff returns, a flag comes out.
You know what? You hear that song playing? When South Carolina State starts playing that and the cues start hopping in the stands, good things are going for the Bulldogs.
During the return, illegal blocking it back. Team number 88. Half the distance to the first down.
And there they go. Cues in the stands. Big triple header on ABC coming your way. SEC football gets going. Oklahoma, Alabama, Texas, Georgia coming your way Saturday. But Jay, going back to that, I mean, you know, Chinnis Berry, obviously a man of Omega Psi Phi, said, okay, well, what's the breakdown on the team? He's like, got 10 cues for players, another 5 or so coaches, and of course, the purple and gold travels as well. Walker Harris in North Carolina Central. Got to get something going. Try to drive the ball down the field. Pass incomplete to Chauncey Spikes near the Bulldogs.
It's an incomplete pass.
Sideline. And Walker Harris is a guy who's built for this moment. I mean, he's been in this system. He's the MEAC leading passer.
That's a catch. Oh, no, ball's moving. Okay, he did not hold on to it. Yeah, and you know, this is what you have. Right now, your legacy, your dynasty right now, if you're Walker Harris, you got a minute and 30 seconds to put yourself in the history books.
Right there to Mekhi Wall. Wall with the first down. They're going to move quickly again. They have no timeouts to work with, so the clock stops temporarily on the first down, and the clock gets going again.
But you have enough time in college football to take a nice drive down the field. Minute 30, no timeouts, still shouldn't be a factor unless you get sacked and fumble.
The ball comes loose. And that was Michael Lund the second, who was the one who sacked him. They've got to move quickly. And the coach-to-player communication in the helmet. Loss of 9 on the play, just over a minute to go. Harris going down the sideline. And pass incomplete, overthrew Van Gates. And you're saying, wow, because why,
That
Jay?
was pass interference. I mean, Rufino Van Gates on the bottom, this is afterwards. He got by him clearly, and the defensive back twisted and turned him, grabbed him by the waist-side. That's Jalen Levine. He got away with pass interference right in front of the North Carolina Central bench and coaching staff. These officials have had a tough one with the pass interference calls.
We've got 2 downs to pick up 19 yards, and now it all comes down to this final 4th down after the incompletion to Mosley.
Money down time for South Carolina State. No penalties in this situation. Walker Harris, you have to find a matchup and give one of your receivers an opportunity to make a play.
It all comes down to this for North Carolina Central. If they want a shot at a MEAC championship, and somehow coming up with an incredible grab is Chauncey Spikes.
Get up to the ball and spike it. Now you're behind in terms of time it takes. We'll talk about the great catch after you spike the ball. Taking too long, get the ball snapped. Oh, they didn't snap it.
Again,
okay,
complete to Mekhi Wall this time. I'm not sure still how Chauncey Spikes caught that in traffic. But again, got to move quickly, 34 seconds. Are they going to spike it here? No, they let time continue to tick.
Because they're getting the ball snapped within 3 or 4 seconds, so I could go with that.
A lot of time, Walker Harris, and the pass incomplete. But with their season on the line on 4th down, big play, Chauncey Spikes.
And holds on to it, secures the football. That's why you like those guys when they talk about a huge catch radius. Well, Chauncey Spikes said, if that ball's anywhere near me, I'm going to get my hands on it. Big catch to keep hope alive for the Eagles.
Huge reception there. Now 2nd and 10. They've got 23 seconds to work with. Again, folks, no timeouts. Walker Harris can't afford a sack and throws it out of bounds. Nearly interception, but that was Michael Lunds, the second, who was bringing that pressure again.
And they're struggling right now because Lunds, who leads South Carolina State in sacks with 8.5 coming to this game, is going against backup right tackle Taryn Williams, number 70. And Williams is absolutely struggling in that matchup. Williams is a big tackle, 6'7", 330, going against Loons, number 11. That matchup you see right there on the 50-yard line, they have to get Williams some help in pass protection. Move the line.
They must get into the end zone. Harris, and it's incomplete. Van Gates couldn't come up with it. Low throw again, Lunds.
Again, with the pressure going against Taryn Williams. Not able to get the sack, but able to get the pressure to force Walker Harris to get rid of the football sooner. And that's the matchup I'm going to watch. When this ball snapped right now, watch number 11. Number 11, hands on his waist, going against the right tackle.
Comes down to this, and Sherrod Mosley, who took his eyes off the ball for just a second. And South Carolina State is going to hold on. Dashing the hopes of Central to try to make another bid for a MEAC championship. It's Chinnis Berry's crew on the road coming up big. And just a missed opportunity through the hands of Chris Mosley.
It's a Mosley's defense. He was gonna have to make somebody miss to pick up the first down, but you have to secure the football first. And Chinnis Berry goes on the road, gets arguably his most important road victory in MEAC since he's been the coach.
What a 4th quarter from South Carolina State. They put up 14 points and the necessary touchdown by Josh Shaw to remain perfect in MEAC play and try to defend their MEAC title from a season ago next weekend. And the former friends and assistants meet at midfield and an embrace and a hug. What a ball game. So with this win, South Carolina State moves to 4-0. They have sole possession of first place for the time being. Del State in action tomorrow. And Jay, oh my goodness, we've talked about their close calls over the last 4 years, and another thriller here from Durham.
Absolutely, the ball game of the year. We thought it would be. It lived up to the hype, but more importantly, winner take all next week as South Carolina State travels to Delaware State.
A thrilling ball game as South Carolina State with a 34-27 victory. For Jay Walker, the rest of our great crew, I'm saying Tiffany Green, we out from Durham.